Crabman here from Crabman Gaming, and today we'll be going through my recent game pickups. I have 17 games to go through from yesterday's purchases and 4 that I picked up last week. I'll be going through each game and how much each game cost as well. So to kick things off, I found WWE 2K18 yesterday, and this was $19 brand new, as you can see, still in the case here. If you've looked on my channel, I've been playing through lots of the SmackDown games, right the way through from SmackDown 1 through to WWE 2K19, which some of the later stuff isn't up quite yet. This was one I didn't have in my collection. I just need to get 2011 and 2015 as well to complete the SmackDown collection. Let's ignore 2K20 though. So moving on, because I don't want this video to go forever, I had a little tour of my game stores that are about half an hour from my house. I go out about twice a year to have a look. This is a game I had as a kid on the Nintendo 64, FIFA 98, sometimes called Road to World Cup as well. I really like this game because you can play the 5-a-side, which I think they finally brought back in FIFA 20, so it took 22 years to have it not included as a little side game, but this was $8, so I thought a pretty good pickup for the 64. Case is in pretty good condition, apart from a little mark here. On to the third game. Here's another interesting game for the Sega Master System called Teddy Boy. And I really like this case because this is in really excellent condition for a case that is over 30 years old. I'm not quite sure why the printout doesn't go all the way to the edge. I'll have to check some of my other Master System games to see if it's the same, but looks really awesome. And Teddy Boy was $9, so sadly no instruction manual, but the cart is in here. Looks pretty good. So a good one to add to the collection. Don't have a huge Master System collection. Let me see, it's the 6th boxed game I have. And moving on to some Game Boy games, I might show these together. Now, if you've watched the channel, there is lots of wrestling on there. I'm a big wrestling fan. So I found these 2 for GameCube. Now, GameCubes here are the games are a little bit expensive. So we've got WrestleMania X8 or 18 with the booklet. So that's pretty cool. And the disc. I always found it really cool. These GameCube discs were so small but still managed to hold the whole games. Really interesting choice for the small disc. But we've got WrestleMania 18 here with Rock, Rob Van Dam and Hogan on the cover. This was $10, which was a pretty good price. The next one I haven't found around too often, which is a bit of an underrated gem in the wrestling scene, which is Day of Reckoning. So this one was a little bit more, but you can see there's Cena on the back cover, some legends, Andre on there as well. And we've got the booklet, which is pretty good, and the disc. And I don't know whoever used to keep the little memory cards in here. But I found Day of Reckoning as well. Now this was $20, so pretty much one of the more expensive games on my list of 21 games today. But there's another 2 wrestling games to add to the collection on GameCube. Now there are a couple of really quick games. I really like getting sports games as well, mainly because they're really cheap. So if you're looking to collect games, old sports games can be very, very cheap indeed. So here's FIFA World Cup 2010 South Africa. It's got the books, got the disc, just a little cheapie, $2. And probably my bargain of the day, which I'd like to have a little play around with, DJ Hero 2, when you had the decks. Bit of a shame it kind of killed the Hero series, really. But here's the book and the disc, and this game was a whopping 20 cents, so I couldn't really pass off adding it to my collection. I am a sucker for anything cheap. I like good games as well, but if a game is cheap, I'm going to add it to the collection. Moving on to the PlayStation 2. Now's a really good time to collect for the PlayStation 2 because the games are really, really cheap. So if you're thinking of collecting them, you can pick up old PlayStation 2s because they've sold over 100 million consoles. You can pick them up cheap. Another sport I really like and I'm really into is cricket. So this was another one of my childhood games I managed to find. This was $2.80, so really breaking the bank. It's got the booklet. What's interesting about this is one of the early PS2 games. It actually has a blue disc. So you can see here, a few of the early games came with blue discs if they didn't require, I believe they didn't require too much of the kind of DVD feature or a lot of video, but I might be wrong. It's a blue disc game. So I used to love playing that one. Next game on the list, I haven't actually played this game before, but I'm looking forward to playing it. Bit of a shame it's covered in some of these hard to remove stickers. I removed a lot of the stickers from the game store where I bought these from. Well, I went to a lot of stores, so I spent a lot of time, but some of these older stickers are really difficult to remove, so not a great quality case. However, we've got the book, which is pretty cool. We've got the disc, which looks to be in pretty good condition. And I don't expect this game to be of huge quality, but might be fun to play for half an hour or so. So I picked this up, $7 for this game, just getting on the pricier side. Now another of my childhood favourite things was to read Garfield. Loved the Garfield books, so they were really, really cool. So I found this game, Garfield Lasagna World Tour, and I thought, it's $4, let's pick it up. I hadn't actually seen this game before. It's got a very small book. So silver disc, like most of the non-first year PS2 games. I thought, hey, it's cool to add to the collection. We'll have a look and see what that game is like. So Garfield, like I said, was $4. I found another of my childhood games while I was out and about, and this was MTV Music Generator 2. And the reason probably one of the hooks of why I bought this game as a kid was you got to see the full video of Clint Eastwood by the Gorillaz. That's on the sticker here. So if you're watching today, you're on YouTube, it's so easy just to go Gorillaz, Clint Eastwood, and watch the video. Watching music videos back in the day was really, really difficult. You could buy the DVDs, but they were very expensive. And really then you might buy a DVD for 1 or 2 songs. So to have a game where you could make your own music was awesome. I believe this is a blue, is this a blue disc? Yeah, this is a blue disc as well. Where you could make your own music. I made some funky jams back in the day and probably watched Gorillaz or Clint Eastwood by Gorillaz probably a few dozen times. And Music Generator 2 was $3.50. So quite a cheap game. Just a game that caught my eye. I like kind of any racing games, even though I don't think this is really a racing game. Pimp My Ride from the MTV show back in the mid-2000s. It's got a pretty good quality book here. The disc is looking pretty nice. I put this in for about 5 minutes yesterday, the intro video. Is it Exhibit who runs it? It was pretty cool. Yep, Exhibit. Pretty cool intro video, and probably worth a bit of a play for $4. So back in the day, a lot of these games, not really worth it if you're buying them for $40, $50, $60, $100, but for a couple of dollars, great fun. Now, I'm actually going to put these two next games together, which are Newcastle, well, it's basically club football. And I believe there were about 21 or 25 versions of club football for 2005 and I think 03, 04 and maybe 05, 06 as well. So it was lots of different clubs had their own version. So if you went into the game, it would be history of Newcastle or the history of Real Madrid. So it was virtually the same game, and then scenarios that linked to your clubs. So this one doesn't have a book, but you get the nice Newcastle themed disc and case. So if you're a fan of Newcastle, this was the game for you. I think they had Man United, Arsenal, Aston Villa, Leeds until they got relegated. Lots of different clubs for you to play as. So I thought that's pretty cool. That's a pretty unique game to get. So I believe this one was $2, and the Real Madrid one, which comes with a nice thick booklet. What's behind here? Sometimes the best thing about getting old games is just seeing weird things that people have stuffed in the cases. Oh, a bit of a Codemasters Showcase Colin McRae Rally, 2004. Here's club football. Oh, so here you go. I'm going to show you this. So here are some of the other club football ones you could have. Man United, Celtic, what looks like here. Chelsea, Arsenal, Leeds, Villa. It's Rangers over there, Liverpool, Juventus, Inter Milan. I can't quite see what that one is in the middle. Bayern Munich, Barcelona, just so many clubs. Ajax there. So lots of different things. IndyCar series, don't remember that series. TOCA, got a few of that. Prisoner of War, I don't remember that game. Might have to track that down. Some snooker. So sometimes it's just cool seeing what's inside some of these cases. That's almost worth the price of admission. So almost worth the $2 in that case. Sometimes they have a receipt of the original buyer. Another soccer game or football game. UEFA Champions League 06-07. So again, I like in the mid-2000s, there were a lot of, and in the PS1 era and PS2 era, a lot of different soccer games. Now you really have FIFA and Pro Evo, or eFootball as it's called now. But back in the day, you had like Ronaldo football, this UEFA, the club football, lots of different soccer games trying to break into the market. So this game was $1 whole. Another wrestling game to my series. Now, I got a little bit confused because I forgot 2008 was also out on the PS3, and I have this on the PS3, but I picked this up on the PS2 as well. It was the first year they cross over between the two. Sadly, this case has seen better days, and the disc was really, really scratched. So if I show you the disc, I don't know how well you can see it on here, but it's really, really scratched, but it played absolutely fine. So because it was in such poor condition, the guy gave it to me for $1.50. So I thought, hey, at least I can try the disc. And if not, it was only $1.50. So those were the 17 games I bought yesterday. I've got 4 final games that I picked up last week. So onto soccer again. We've got PES 2015 on the PS4. Bit of a shame about the cover up here. However, I'm trying to upload the intro videos and then eventually a penalty shootout and a game from every PES. So I've already done PES 1 to 6 on the PS2, and then PES 2009, 10, 11, and 12. Got intro videos up on there. There's a playlist on my channel if you'd like to have a look. So I got PES here as well. Ready. That was my receipt in there. I just like to put receipts inside the case sometimes so I don't lose them. And PES was $8, I believe, last week. Another game I got here for the PS2, Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. Try and find anything with a bit of name value as well. So if there's an old film game, which usually they're not that good, but like a Harry Potter or like an Iron Man, or I'm trying to think of some of the other ones that I have. Lord of the Rings. If there's a Lord of the Rings game, I'll try and buy it. It says Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix from the 5th book. 2 games to go. I found another wrestling game which was really cool, which was WWE Raw 2 on the Xbox. I really liked being able to put your own music. I had this as a kid as well. Putting your own music on the Xbox hard drive and then having your wrestler come out, or your creator wrestler come out to whatever theme tune they wanted was really cool. If a wrestler changed their music, you could change it. That was cool as well. Bit of a shame about all the stickers. I'm not going to attempt to get all those off. This was $4. Harry Potter was $3, by the way, if I forgot to mention. So Harry Potter 3, Raw 2, 4. What I found really funny about this is I haven't swapped this in any way. However, we open this up, we've got the Raw 2 disc, but we've got the Raw 1 book. So when I opened it up, I thought, gee, what's Triple H doing in his really old attire? And it was from Raw 1, but that's still old attire from, even for Raw 1, because Raw 1 was released in 2001, and this is kind of Triple H's attire from 98, 99. So another cool wrestling game if you haven't played it before. Doesn't really stand this test of time, but for $4, fun to play. And then my final game of the week, I have a special challenge for you guys. Here it is. It's a PlayStation 1 game. It's quite a rare game. So my challenge is this. If you've got this far in the video, I'm not going to reveal the price of this game because here's a bit of a hint. It was a little bit expensive, But if 5 people comment down below and attempt to guess the price, once 5 people have attempted to guess the price, I will reply and let you know what the price of this game was. My clue is it's more expensive than any other game on this list, and it is ECW Hardcore Revolution for the PlayStation 1. This game is basically just a reskinned Attitude or Warzone. I put a couple of videos up on my channel, not a hardcore, but a barbed wire match between Rob Van Dam here and Sabu, and an ECW version of a Royal Rumble, because it was just Attitude, so they had the Royal Rumble mode in there. This was the first ECW game of 2, and it wasn't really very well received. So if you've ever played Attitude or Warzone on the PS1, this game is basically exactly the same, but with the ECW characters and some pretty average music. So we've still got a pretty good book in here. That's pretty interesting. Let's take out my receipt, which might spoil the fun of how much it was. And here is the disc. So I don't think it sold... Hey, little Easter egg on my face. I don't think it sold heaps of copies, so it is a little bit rare, and it was a little bit expensive, but it was cool just to find in a shop, so I thought I had to buy it. So guys, thanks for watching the video. Have a look at some of my other videos. I'm playing through, at the moment, Just Bring It, story mode with all characters, so that's good fun. You can see Royal Rumbles from lots of SmackDown games, heaps of other things on the channel. You guys have really enjoyed my PlayStation 4 collection and the Switch collection, so hopefully you've enjoyed the latest pickups. Have a wonderful day. Crabman from Crabman Gaming here, and today we are going through recent game pickups number 2. Now this video is so large I've had to split it into 2 videos, so there'll be game pickups 2 and game pickups 3 from the last 6 weeks. So I'm going to kick it off here with the Sega Saturn. So not just a game pickup, but I also picked up this Sega Saturn. And today's video will have 55 games featured, and in recent game pickups 3, that will have 50 games featured. So stay tuned. So here is the Sega Saturn that I bought just over a week ago. I've never owned one of these systems. I'll do a Saturn video, so stay tuned for that. So what I'm going to do is just go through the Saturn games I got really quickly. Daytona USA, which you have probably all played in an arcade somewhere, maybe at a movies or a cinema. And that's it's a cool game. Frame rate's a bit choppy. I'll show you one lap of this today on the screen. Sega Rally Championship, probably the best racing game for the system. Formula One Challenge, which is okay. And I also got Slam Jam 96, which makes me feel a bit sick, and the perspective is really weird. It's not from side court, it's from top down. And also got this really weird bootleg sampler, which is a bit like a demo disc, which has a few playable things here on it. So you can see a few there. So I'll go through that on my Saturn video. I got 2 controllers with it. This is the original Saturn controller, which isn't great because you got the inwards D-pad, and these buttons aren't great. And this is your better Saturn controller. They released this a little bit later. Sadly, this one doesn't work, but let's get to a lap of Daytona USA. So power's on. Now this Saturn is connected via RF cable, so I've had to tune it in through my aerial. And let me get the controller here. I've tuned it in through my aerial onto the TV. Now, I could be the first person who has connected a Saturn to an OLED, but let's give it a go. Now, inside the Saturn, there is a watch battery, which does your save data. It only lasts about 2 years, so mine has died. There's me in the reflection of the TV. I'll try and hide down here. Here's the Saturn. Released here in Australia, it was released in 1995, and the reason why I never knew anyone that owned one is because this did release for $799 in 1995. So I converted that to today's money, and that is $1,400. So no wonder I never knew anyone that owned this. Anyway, here's Daytona. I'll try and talk over the top so it doesn't give it a copyright strike. But let's get through a quick lap and I can go through the rest of the videos. So the difference between arcade and Saturn mode is that The arcade mode has the time, which you're probably familiar with, and the Saturn mode does not. Let's just go automatic. I'll play you a very quick lap with a rolling start. So it's connected via RF cable, so you need to connect it via your aerial. It's not composite or component cable. You can buy those. My Saturn that I bought didn't have that. All right, let's get through a quick lap, then I'll tell you the price, then I'll get onto the rest of the videos. Gee, it's not a very good start. The control's quite tight as well. It actually doesn't look bad on a modern TV. I thought it would look worse. It actually looks pretty clear, despite some choppy frame rate. So I might just leave it there. And if you want to see more Saturn gameplay footage, check out the other video. So if you turn off the Saturn as well, actually back to the snow screen, which some of you might never ever have seen this screen in your life. Okay, and I'll just change the perspective to get set up for the new video. So here's the Saturn, and we'll get on to the next videos. So one of my first game pickups was Xenoblade Chronicles, the definitive edition. So I've played through Xenoblade Chronicles 2. If you go through my Switch playthrough, I have shown some gameplay footage of that, and Torna the Golden Country as well. I'm currently playing this on my Switch. I'll put my friend code in the comments, or not in the comments, but in the description. So if you want to add me on Switch, I'd love to have some more friends on there. Enjoying Shulk's adventure. Interesting to see how it links into Xenoblade Chronicles 2 as well. Some of the same themes, obviously. I did have this on 3DS. I just never got around to playing it. So really enjoying that. I did realize though, I did forget to tell you the price of the Saturn. So the Saturn and 4 games was $200. A little bit pricey. Was it worth it? You can have a look through in the Saturn video. Xenoblade Chronicles, as it was a new release, this was $69, but absolutely worth it. Let's move on to the next game. I do like going to thrift stores as well, and they didn't have many games in this store, but you've got Xbox Music Mixer. So haven't really played that, but an interesting addition to the collection. Now they had a sale at the game store, one of my game stores, which you'll probably be able to figure out what it was. And I actually picked up a fair few games, some of them click and collect, some of them not. So I'll go through the PS4 games that I got during that collection. And you can see what you think, and I'll tell you the price as well. So this next one here is, I don't know if it's 1111 Memories Retold. I assume that's what it is. This was $5, so it goes for about 3 or 4 hours. So that's a pretty cool pickup. Here's a really interesting game. I'm not sure why this was ever sold in Australia, but it's 8 to Glory. And it is a bull riding game. I actually did play this all the way through the season mode. It's just the same gameplay over and over again. So I'm not really sure why I picked it up. It was $10 and why I played it, but I did. I'm not sure what the market is for bull riding in Australia. I think there was an Australian in it, Troy Wilkinson. I think. So that was interesting. I did give that a go. Next game I found here was Battlefield Hardline, and that was $4. I've tried to leave the stickers on just so that you know I'm telling the truth about the prices. I'll generally take the stickers off after. I don't like my games having stickers on. I do like to take them off. But that was $4 for a shooter from a few years ago. Next game we've got here is Big Bash Boom. Really strange that it doesn't have, I didn't notice this until now, this doesn't have the title on the cover. It's just a picture of Chris Lynn and what looks to be Elise Perry on the cover. So as you know, I'm into cricket. I'm doing a Cricket Captain playthrough right now on my channel. I've got some other cricket games. I'm going to go back and check to see if other copies don't have the name on the front. That's really strange. Anyway, haven't played this yet. It's not the best cricket game, but it was $10, so I wanted to pick it up and see what it was like. If you want the best cricket game, Cricket 19 is fantastic. This is a game I've been looking for a while, which is Dead Synchronicity, and it's generally quite expensive. because it wasn't really released. I don't think it was released in Australia. So generally, if they're not released here, they'll have a sticker down the bottom for the rating system. So I've been looking for this for a while. I've generally never seen it under $40. So for $14, that was a pretty good pickup. Next thing I got here is Dragon Quest Heroes 2. Still haven't played Dragon Quest Heroes 1, but I have played Dragon Quest 8 and 11. I'm thinking if I've played any of the others. I'm not sure if I have. So this wasn't $89. It was actually just $10. However, if you buy games from EB, which some people do, some people don't, I tend to look for specials from there. You'll see this price here. You'll notice $89.68. And what this 68 means is this will be the price it's going to be the next time there's a sale or a special. So if you're looking and you're going, well, why is it 68 cents? That's really weird. It was probably released at 89, first sale it was 68, and then they were just clearing this out. So this was just $10, and I'll have to try and find some time to get through some of these. Yeah, another long game to get through. So Trials of Cold Steel 3, I finished 1 and I keep meaning to buy 2. It's actually really hard to find 1 and 2 in a physical copy here. So I thought I found 3 and it was $29. So that's not too bad and it's still sealed. So I'll have to play 2 and then I can go on to play 3. And I know 4 has been released in Japan and they're still waiting for a localization. So that was another good pickup. Still more during this sale here. So we've got The Lost Child, so another RPG. This was $10. Do want to get around to this as well. So kind of a bit more of a dungeon crawler of an RPG. I don't know where I'm going to find the time to play all these 50-hour games, but maybe I will. But at least I have them for later. Another quick game. I just picked this up because this was $5. Mother Gunship. A little bit of a blast game. Don't really know too much about this game, but it was $5, so I picked it up for the collection. Another collection, a strange series of games that I quite like are the MXGP series of games. I have a couple of them physically, but generally they're expensive. They release at $100. They don't go down in price very much. I tend to buy them from the PlayStation Store when they're about $10 or $15. They're a really relaxing game to play. It's pretty much the same thing every year, but you know, lots of people buy FIFA every year. They buy Madden every year. They buy sports games every year. So it's quite a relaxing playthrough for MXGP. This was $15, so I thought that was a pretty good price to have it physically, as most of my games in the MXGP series are just digital. Picked up Prey for $5, a Bethesda game. Got okay reviews, but it wasn't too much money. Another one that was quite cheap was Raid World War II, and this one was $5 as well, even though it says 20 on the sticker. So another game, so same creators as Payday 2. So a little bit of an action game that you can play through. Another $5 game is Runbow Deluxe Edition. It's a bit of a fast-paced game. You can play this multiplayer as well. So if you do want to add me on PS4, you can add me at Crabman Gaming and just mention the channel or YouTube. Just don't send a blank request. I'll be happy to add you as a friend, but sometimes I get quite a few blank requests. So please mention if you're from the channel. Okay, now this game has been very, very frustrating. This is 2K16. I have a series of Royal Rumble videos I've done from SmackDown 1, actually from before, from WWF Attitude all the way through to 2K19. But my copy of 2K16 wouldn't work. The disc kept spinning out. So I found another copy at a thrift store. I got it home and the actual disc was burnt, which was really weird. So I couldn't use that copy. I found a PS3 copy for $1. I did my Rumble video with that. So I found this for $12, which isn't really a very good deal, but I didn't have a working copy in my collection. And then I did find it later for a lot cheaper, but that one is a little bit of a bust. I also found this at a kind of department store, so not the game store. So you might be familiar, may even have to bring the camera back a little bit here. You're probably familiar with the Starlink series, so they tried to get into the Amiibo or Skylanders, the kind of toy-based games. So here we've got Starlink Battle for Atlantis, and it comes with a few ships and figures. This is what you get in it. I'll try and show you here on the side. So you control a mount, Mason Rana, Zenith, some weapons, the game, and a poster. And this was just being discounted and cleared off the shelf because this is quite a big box. So you can imagine if they've got a lot of these and they're not selling, they do need to move them on. So this big Starlink starter pack here, it was $8, so very cheap. And I also got a little additional pilot pack here, Eli Arborwood, and that was $1. So I'm not really a big fan of these games that require all these little accessories to play. I just feel they're trying to milk you for money, which I'm not a big fan of, but I thought, hey, I can get this Starlink pack with all these things for $8. That's pretty cool, so I picked it up. Also, for the last part of this game sale, I did get a couple of non-PS4 games. So I got these games, which I might put down all together here. I got 3 of the Yokai Watch games. So I got the original Yokai and Yokai 2, Bony Spirits, Fleshy Souls. These were just $5 each, and pretty much no 3DS games are ever $5, especially brand new. So Yokai Watch is incredibly popular in Japan. These are cool little RPGs, kind of in the vein of Pokemon, if you don't know very much about them. So they've kind of gone with the Pokemon approach of the same game with 2 slightly different like yokais you can get in the game. I don't know when I'm going to find the time to play these, but for $15, $5 each, awesome to add to the collection. I was excited to add them in. Here's a game I did play quite a bit back on the PS3, and I realized I didn't have a copy. So it's Pure Football. If you remember FIFA 98, when they used to have the 5-a-side mode, it's basically that. So it's 5-a-side soccer, football, wherever you live. And I did play it a fair amount, so I'll have to dig out my trophy list and see how many trophies I actually did get for this game. I did really like it. So I think I didn't have FIFA Street, and I picked this up for cheap many years ago and just had a really good time with it. My last game, well, there's more games, but my last game out of this deal from EB Games here is Nintendo Land. I did a click and collect for this, along with a few of the games I've just shown you, so I didn't know if I'd get a cover. It was $4 and not $8. So it was the only one without a cover, so I didn't complain and try and trade it back in. I actually don't have a Wii U. I'm looking for one. If I can find one under $100, I might pick one up. But the problem is that most of their best games have already been ported to the Switch, so there's not really a huge reason to pick one up. All right, we're going to keep going. We've still got more. This was a thrift store pickup, the Orange Box on PC, and that was just $2. I really like, obviously the box is orange. I don't want to say I love the orange box and it's the orange box, but cool to have on your shelf. I'm not even sure if it would actually work, but if not, these games are only a couple of dollars. So I thought that was cool to add to the collection. Then there was a little bit of a sale at another department store. Let's move that right out of the way. There was another department store sale, and I picked up these 2 Switch games. And generally Switch games are never cheap. So the first one I'm going to go through is City Skylines. This was a free PS4 game, PS4 Plus game a few months ago, and I actually played it on the PS4 and it was really good. I really enjoyed it. Think SimCity, but modern and, well, I don't know if I want to say better, but really good. I enjoyed it. This was $20, so I picked this up. I've been playing this. It's a really good game to play before you go to bed. It's nice and relaxing. You don't have to wear headphones, or you don't have to have the sound on, so it's nice to just relax and play that before bed. And another game I got was Ugly Dolls because it was just $10, and Switch games are virtually never $10. So this is a little adventure game. I think based off a film, I think kind of a kid's film. It's about 3 or 4 hour playthrough, so maybe I can find some time to blast through that. Here's another game I
wanted to pick up for a while, and this was Need for Speed Heat. The graphics are amazing. I was waiting for a price drop for a while because it was pretty expensive. Now, this was, and I'm playing this on the PS4 right now, so if you add me on PS4, you might see me playing this from time to time. This was $50. However, I did have a $30 gift card that someone had given me, so I put that to good use, and then it did just cost me 20. So I've been enjoying that. I have seen it for 40 cents. Still waiting for I was kind of waiting for the price drop down to about 30, but I had a voucher, so I used it. I've been enjoying that on the PS4. Another thrift shop game, getting tongue-tied, is Pikmin. So sometimes in thrift stores or charity shops, games can be $1 or $2. This one, there were 5 each, so there was a lot of junk, and I found this original Pikmin, which was released on the GameCube and then updated for the Wii with some new Wiimote controls. So I thought that was pretty good. And what I did like about this thrift store was they didn't write the price on the front. A lot of stores have the habit of getting a big black texter and just writing $3 or $5 all over the front. They were kind enough to do it on the back, which doesn't annoy me quite as much, and you can get this off. It's just a lot of work, but it's annoying if you find a bit of a rarer game and there's a big black texter mark on the cover. Okay, I've got 2 more PS4 games for the moment, which I do want to play. Again, time is very important. I found Lost Sphere, which is a Square Enix RPG, kind of set almost like Octopath Traveler, where they've gone with the retro graphic style to play through. I think this is quite long, so again, I'll try and invent a time machine to find time to play some of these. This is a game I almost bought on release. There's a bit of an action RPG mixed, Indivisible. This was just $15. This only came out at the end of last year, so I am excited to play this game as well. So I did really want this game. This was nearly a game I bought on release, but just $15 is a pretty good pickup. Then I saw online, I'm always looking for games to add to my collection, and I'll try and put the ad up like I did with my buying my PS3s in 4 days video. I got this bundle of PlayStation 2 games. Always looking to add PS2 games to my collection because I've got a backwards compatible PS3 that I can play them on, and it does upscale them a little bit. So these games we've got, I'll go through them really quickly. So we've got AFL Premiership 2005. We've got Boogie, which is, I'll just lean them that way. Boogie, which is a rhythm game. We've got Detonator, which is I've not heard of this game before, but a bit of a puzzle game. Downhill Slalom, which I love because who thought to release a game about slalom and release it in Australia where there is very little snow? And I looked up some review scores for this game, and it is one of the worst PS2 games. So that might be fun to put in and play sometime. We've got Everybody's Tennis. We've got Flow, which is a rhythm game. I played a little bit of this. It's actually quite fun. We've got 2 horse racing games. We've got G.I. Jockey and G.I. Jockey 3. I think those were quite popular in Japan. Probably along with this, Lake Masters EX. Pimp My Ride. I did already have this. This was in my last video. Pro Evo. I do have this already. There was another one I had, like with Ricky Ponting Cricket, but you can't have too many cricket games. And it looks like some person did originally pay $99 for this game. Super Buster Move, the game everyone remembers for having the weird baby on the cover, which no one really understood, but a cool puzzle game that's been on many systems. And the last one, Virtua Tennis 2. So a very solid tennis game. So these 14 games I purchased off Marketplace for just $20. So I couldn't resist picking up another 14 PS2 games for the mere price of $20. I could not turn that down. And sorry if there's a bit of hair and things on here. Okay, we've got a few more games to go. We've got, let me see, 2, 4, 6, 7, 9 to go. So my next 5 games are just some random charity shop pickups. So Cricket 2007, $2. I actually didn't have this, so that was good to add to the collection. We've got Rugby League. What I do like about rugby games, picking these up, is they're region specific. So generally these games were only released in Australia or in a limited release overseas. So this was $2. I got Smash Court Tennis as well, also $2. So quite reasonable. We got for the 360 here, Def Jam Rap Star. So if you've got a microphone, you can rap along to your favorite hip hop and rap artists. So you've got Tupac, 50 Cent, Beastie Boys, Kanye West, Notorious B.I.G. So that'd be quite fun to go through. I might have to dig out a mic sometime and have a go. Definitely not on a video. This was probably my favorite find from the charity shop, House of the Dead Overkill for the Wii. This is an awesome game. So you can use your Wiimote as a shooter, so a bit of a light gun game. And the art in this is incredible. This was just $2 as well. So this was a really, really awesome find. And there it is, it's still $2 down there. So you can use that gun attachment or just your normal Wiimote. So I will have to try and play that sometime. My last couple here from EB Games were just a couple of cheap ones that I found. So you got Extinction, that was $5, and a weird game I'd heard a lot about, which was made by quite a small developer. I think this was only made by perhaps half a dozen people. So even though some reviewers loved it and some hated it, it is past cure. And that was just $4. So I thought, let's pick that up as well. That's generally my thinking if I see a game for $5 or less. And then the final thing which I'm going to show you today, this was my final pickup I actually got yesterday. So another charity shop pickup. There are good places to go and find retro games. I had a look and I saw a couple of things, but I saw this in a cabinet and it had these 2 games with it. So NASCAR 2000, Superbike 2000. So these must have been picked up together. These 2 actually came from a video store because there's a little stamp on the inside, but I'm not sure where this PS1 came from. So this is the remodeled PS1. So obviously everyone is familiar with the big grey PlayStation, and that's just called the PlayStation. This is styled as the PS1. That's its name. This was released in July of 2000, just before the PS2 came out, because the PS2 was very expensive. So some people were buying this system. So if I remember rightly, in Australia, the PS2 launched at a price of $729. And I think this mini PS1 was just going for $200. So if you didn't have a lot of money and you still wanted a PlayStation, this was a good place to get into gaming, and looks pretty good. It didn't come with any controllers or cables, so it doesn't come with the 8-pin like normal, like the figure 8 power cable. It needs one of these DC inputs, and it's the same video out, the AV multi-out, as normal. So I will have to dig through my collection to find some cables and see if this works. So I hope you enjoyed watching the video. My next video is 50 games that I bought over a weekend from a used game sale. So hope you enjoyed Recent Game Pickups 2, and stay tuned for Recent Game Pickups number 3. Crabman will see you later. Crabman from Crabman Gaming here, and today this is Recent Game Pickups 3. 50 games for $103. This was so large I had to split this up from Recent Game Pickups 2 because I picked up all 50 of these games over the course of a week from the same retailer. They had a pre-owned gaming special, and I'm going to go through all 50 games with you, PS4, Xbox One, and PS3 games. So you've been staring at this game for about 30 seconds now. This is the first game on the list. It's Air Conflicts Double Pack. Not the best game. However, I've never really seen this around very much, so it was $5. Just about all the games have their correct pricing on. And as you see, this is how they come packaged inside. So the disc is in a separate sleeve. I do like how they put their own little pre-owned game card in here, and there's the instructions are here as well. So that was, well, not the first game I got, but alphabetically for PS4, it's the first game on the list. Here's the second game, which is Assassin's Creed Chronicles. That was $2, so a good pickup. They're all good pickups because the average price here is just over $2 a game. So it is 50 games for $103. So every game has an average price of a couple of dollars. Some were $1, a few were a little bit more. So this is the Assassin's Creed where you have 3 different stories. You have China, India, and Russia. I have heard that the China playthrough is the best one, and I will have to see for myself when I get around to playing that. Could be a while with so many games. Okay, we've got Battleborn, which is just $1 online fighting game. Was kind of second place to another online fighter, which is just eluding my memory at the moment. It might come back to me later. Post it in the comments. Tell me what it is. I've forgotten. There was this and another online game, and Battleborn kind of got left behind a little bit. So, but it's $1. Good to add to the collection. There's this amazing sale, really. I saw about it online, and the store had been open for about half an hour when I'd seen it, and I rushed on down and actually visited 4 stores in the end of the same chain over a week. Now, this is a game I actually did want. RPGs are generally very expensive and they don't go on special very often. So we've got Death End Request, which I believe is it's a JRPG. I was seeing if it was more of a dungeon crawler, but I'm thinking of The Lost Child. So you've got turn-based battles, and it shifts into different things here. So there was one I've actually been pretty keen to pick up for a while. So for $10, I'm very, very pleased to get this game. The next game on the list is Dishonored 2. So I had the first Dishonored. I didn't have this game. It's a Bethesda game, just $2 again. It's going to be a theme of these videos. Very, very cheap games. 50 games for just over $100. Some games retail at $100. So I've almost got 50 games for the price of one new release. So it's crazy. We've got Tom Clancy's The Division, which does require you to be online, but an online shooter. I'm not sure if this has a single player story or not. However, interestingly, just is a little bit creepy reading the back. New York City, an unprecedented pandemic has led to the collapse of society as we know it. That hitting a little bit too close to home. Please stay safe wherever you are. We've got another game here, Formula 1 2016. Now, this would be an awesome game because it's a racing game. The graphics are always really good. So for $2, how can you complain? Cover's not the best, but I'll forgive them. I think I opened this one already. So $2 for Formula 1 2016. I've played a couple of Formula 1 games. They're quite fun. Next game I've got on my list here is FIFA 18 for $2. All the FIFAs were really cheap. So FIFA's 14 to 17, or I think 14 to 16 were $1, 17 and 18 were $2, and I think 19 was about $10 because everyone's got them. I actually only had this online. I didn't have a physical copy. So I thought for $2, that's awesome. You can play the Alex Hunter story all the way through now. If I somehow can't get it digitally, I've got 17, 18, and 19. I did love that trilogy with Alex Hunter and Danny Williams. That was pretty good fun. What you do notice as well is they are all sealed as well, but they're sealed by JB Hi-Fi here. Obviously you can see that's who it's by, but it's not just in that normal seal that you get in a new game. It's actually, they sticky tape them right in. So if I try and get it off here, you've got some really difficult to remove sticky tape. So I'll just try and unwrap this one. So it's really taped in. You get more tape around here. It's actually really difficult to remove unless you've got a small knife. and I might give up because I need something to open that with. Generally, you want just a small sharp knife will help you. I've got Madden 15. Now, I'm not really sure how many people were buying Madden in Australia because it's not really a very popular sport over here, although it has gained a lot of popularity in the last 5 years. So maybe they've tried to release a few more of these games, and it's not an import because it has the local rating system on there. So just $1 for Madden 15. Should really continue my theme. I picked up a few cheap Maddens, so 16 and 18. Sometimes it is good just to have physical copies of a few games. You never know when you might need them for anything. Now this shows how much knowledge I have about American football. I'm going to say I think this is Tom Brady from the New England Patriots, but I could be completely wrong. So I've watched it once or twice, but I have a lot of other things that I do, so probably don't have the time to invest. When you watch cricket, that takes a lot of time as well. And sorry if you can spot stuff on the camera that I can't see on my mat here. It looks clean to me, but the camera tends to pick up every little speck of dust. Now, a game I have wanted ever since it has come out is Monster Hunter World. And you might think, okay, $29, that is a pretty good deal. No, it was not $29. I don't know where the sticker went because I saw it in the store. This was $2. And I kid you not, $2 I got this game for. So I'm really looking forward to playing this. This is definitely one I'm going to play. Sometimes you'll get a pile of 50 games and you know there are games you're not going to play there, but this is one I'm absolutely going to get into. I've wanted it for a while. I've kind of waited for the right price, and $2 was definitely the right price. Sometimes I feel guilty I don't spend a bit more, but I buy a lot of games, so my money is being spread far and wide. NBA 2K17, I think, yeah, that's the only NBA game I got for the PS4, so just $2. EB Games are actually selling a lot of these NBA games cheap because when people have traded them in, who's really going to buy old sports games unless you are a collector like myself? Now, the next 3 games I'm going to put in together. So you've got NBA Live 14 and 15. Now, these games aren't the greatest. I believe their Metacritics are about 50. So they're not amazing, but this came out right near the start. I think it was either a launch title or very close to. And then for some reason, as I was traveling around the stores, I did accidentally pick up 2 copies, but it rounds it out nicely to 50 games. So I thought I'd include it anyway. Otherwise, I'd only have 49 games. And that title is not quite as catchy as 50 games in this playthrough. So 3 copies of NBA Live there as well. I'm going to move on to the next few. Now, on my channel, I do have a playlist of lots of PES videos. So I've started actually from International Superstar Soccer. So I'm just going to spread these ones out here. And there's a playlist where I go through the intro videos and then I play a match generally of England versus Germany and sometimes a penalty shootout as well. So you can check out that playlist. It's got a few views, but I'd like a few more. And I kind of got up to Pro Evo 2011 and it's hard to find 12, 13 or 14. And then these ones on the PS4 were always really expensive, even if they were pre-owned. So I think I had this was in my last video, 2015, which I picked up then for about $9, but I got PES 15 here for $1. So I can actually continue my series, which I'm excited for. So even though they're old sports games, I can continue my PES playlist with these. So we got PES 15 was $1. Whoop, sorry for the camera there. Let's steady him up a little bit. I got PES 16 was $2 in this really sticky taped cover. PES 17 for $2. So you can see here just behind this sticker, it does say $19. So, and that's the price it was normally. So when I was looking to do these videos and all of these were still $20 plus for 3, 4, 5-year-old soccer games, I wasn't that keen, but now they're just a couple of dollars. That's pretty good. PES 18 is a little bit more recent, so I was happy to part with $5 for that one. 19 I don't have, and I actually bought eFootball 2020, PES 2020, terrible name, on the store for about $7 a few weeks ago. Now here's probably my favorite pickup of my 50 games. I have been wanting to play this for a while. I am a little bit scared to play it. I do have a VR headset. I don't play it as much as I should, but this was $10 for Resident Evil. So I thought a really, really good pickup. Maybe it doesn't have a book. Maybe it just has a disc. So if yours has a book, let me know if I missed out on the book. But playing this in VR, I am scared to play it, but excited at the same time. Maybe, no, I'll play it in VR. Otherwise, it's not the full experience. We've got another game here, which is Saints Row. Now, I'm really trying to work out exactly what this is. I tried to look online, but I got a little bit confused. It does have a European rating on here, so that's not the Australian rating system, which is weird, because usually it's stickered over. So it looks like it's Saints Row 4 plus the Gat Out of Hell DLC. That is what it says. Include Saints Row 4 with every DLC and Gat Out of Hell standalone expansion. So is this the expansion and you download the original? Or is this the original and you get the expansion? So if you know, please let me know, because I tried to look this up online and I wasn't really sure. And if it's a European version, I probably can't download the content inside. Plus someone might have used it. But it was $2, so I'm not complaining. And here's another game good to have a physical copy of, which is XCOM 2. The sticker's just over the 2, and this was $5. And, oh, there you go, some information in there. And this is a strategy game. I want to say strategy RPG. I think it's got a really high Metacritic score, maybe in the high 80s or 90s. So I would like to give this a go if I can find time. But if you look at my recent game pickups 2 and 3, and when you've picked up 100 games in 6 weeks, that is a lot of games to play. So I do need a magic time machine. And at the moment I'm playing Xenoblade Chronicles 2, so that is a huge time sink. I need to play some shorter games. So we've moved on to the Xbox One. I actually don't have a heap of games for the Xbox One. I mainly use it to play the Forza Horizon series. I absolutely love 3. It's one of my favorite games ever. And 4 is really good as well. And 2 is a pretty good time. So I mainly play that, and I've dabbled in a little bit of Rare Replay. But I got some Xbox games because, number one, they're cheap. And if I do eventually get an Xbox Series 1 X, if that's what the next one's called, it's going to be fully backwards compatible, so why not get a few games while they're cheap? So here's the Crew. I do have this on the PS4, but I've never actually played it, so it's a decent racing game, but I sometimes think of price to value ratio. So if a game's $1 and I can get an hour of fun out of it, that's good value to me. So maybe if you bought the Crew and it was $60, maybe not so good value. Okay, this was a release title for the Xbox One, Dead Rising 3. So just $2 to pick this one up. So I don't know if I'll ever get around to that, but looks pretty good. Now, I love cricket games. This is a really, really good cricket game, Don Bradman Cricket. This was actually originally released on the PS3, and I believe it was on the 360, but I'm not 100% sure. And then they kind of re-released it as, it's kind of called Don Bradman Cricket or Don Bradman Cricket 14 on the PS4 and the Xbox One. So you generally don't ever see this game cheap. So for $1, this is really good. I do still have this on PS4, but I will always be glad to get any copy of any cricket game I can. I do have a copy of a Commodore 64 game on a cassette about cricket, so that's pretty good. Elder Scrolls Online, you do need a subscription, and it's only $1, but sometimes you can get the Gold Pass for $1 a month for 1 to 3 months. Evolve again, I think this is free to play now online anyway, but just to have a physical copy for a couple of dollars is not bad. Alright, I also picked up a copy of FIFA 17 just because it was $1. It does feature the beginning of the Alex Hunter story, so if for some reason I just had an Xbox and FIFA 17, I could have good fun just playing the Alex Hunter story or just playing a very good football, soccer game, whatever you want to call it. Got a few more sports titles. I'll just bring them over. So just one Madden game for the 360 I could find, Madden 16 for $2. It was weird. Some of the same games on the other systems were more expensive, mainly on the Xbox for some reason. Some of the pre-owned was less money, more money. I don't know. No, more money on the Xbox. Okay, here we've got NBA Live 18, which I couldn't find on the PS4. I'm not really sure if these games got any better later, so I'd have to check the Metacritic and see if they improved from 50 and got a little bit higher. But here's NBA Live. That was $1. We've got some NBA. Oh yeah, I made this mistake again. I got the same copy of the game. I must have got it from 2 different stores and not realized I had it. But here we go. 2 copies of NBA 2K17. If you live near me and you want one, you could have one. Okay, NHL 16. That was $2. Not really, I would say, a huge seller in Australia because ice hockey is not a very popular sport here. A little bit of an interesting story. I actually live really close to an ice hockey arena, so I don't know how many there are where I live in my state, maybe 2 or 3, but I live really close to one, and it actually has an amazing restaurant next to it where you can sit and eat, and it overlooks the ice hockey rink, and you can watch games or training or whatever's happening, and they do some really good food. So that's just a weird fact for you to know. Here's a PES 15 for $1. Now, this is probably the best Xbox game that I got, or the best value, because it's an Xbox One exclusive, so you can't have this on any other system. I believe this game was pretty good. It got some good ratings. Quantum Break, based off, I'm pretty sure it's based off James Bond. So, oh no, it's not based off James Bond, but it sounds like a James Bond game, but it's not. And you also have, well, it says there's Alan Wake in here, but I opened it up and I don't think it's in here, but that's okay. Just getting Quantum Break for $5, an exclusive, is a pretty good deal. We've got 3 left to go. Here's one I hadn't really heard of before, but it's maybe a little bit of a different shooter than your Call of Duties and your really popular games. So you got Sniper Ghost Warrior 3. I think the engine is quite similar to the Sniper Elite series, but I could be wrong. I had a little look at some gameplay footage online. It looked similar to that, I think, with the slow-mos and like the bullets going in and the X-ray vision, but I could be wrong. But you know, this was $5 and it's an unusual game, so I thought I would pick it up. I've got 2 games left. We've got a launch title for the Xbox One, Sunset Overdrive. So really cartoon. I think it's kind of a little bit like cel shaded graphics, or just really bright graphics, just to show off what the Xbox One could do. I remember there was a lot of noise about how good this game was when it came out at the end of 2013. So that might be interesting to give that a go. And a game I'm actually pretty pleased that I got hold of as well. I actually want to give this a go later today. Trials Fusion, which I have played on the PS4. However, it does come with a season pass. So I'm going to hope, with my fingers crossed, that it hasn't been used. So you get some DLC here, 30 new tracks and a unicorn bike. Now, I'm not going to open it up in case you guys see the code and someone claims it off me. But yeah, I think there is a code. There is a code in there because I looked earlier, and I have to see whether it's been used or not. It's actually, I'll cover a bit up, but it is here, and I didn't see an expiry date on it. So it did come, and there's a code on the back. So fingers crossed that works. I have been lucky before with DLC. Now, thank you for bearing with me, being really patient. My last lot of games here, which is about 13 games, they're all PS3 games. And really strangely is most of them are actually iToy games. There wasn't really any other PS3 games available, but these first two are not. So I'll show you these quickly. So you've got AC/DC Rock Band, and I got out my guitars to play because I wanted to play some Rock Band and Guitar Hero, and my guitar works, but the little dongle just won't work. So that's really frustrating. So I'm going to have a look around for another dongle that works. DJ Hero, I think in my last video I had DJ Hero 2, which I bought for 20 cents. Oh, and you did see, but this was $1. So all these PS3 games were $1. So great value despite them being good, bad, or terrible. I would pretty much pick up just about any PS3 game for $1 if I didn't have it. So DJ Hero, I'm trying to find some decks online. I did find a deck, but it wasn't close to my house. I need to find one close and for a good price. I've seen this game before, but I think this is like a card game where you could buy cards and put them in front of the eye camera and they would go into the game. So I don't think it sold a lot of copies. It's called the Eye of Judgment. I did have a look before. So it says here, place game card onto the play mat in full view of the PlayStation Eye and watch the monstrous 3D character. Watch as the monstrous 3D characters are brought to life to wage war. So it looks here, you just get your cards and you put them in front of the eye camera, which I do have one. So I'm probably going to have to use one, and I might check some of these out. We've also got iCreate here. I never really got into all these iToy games, the PlayStation Eye with the PlayStation Eye, but maybe I'll give some of these a go if I don't have to get my face in them. So I'm not really sure what you do in this game. So record sound clips and edit your own multimedia footage, add special effects. So pretty much what you can do on your phone now was a game. The next one, I do want to play this. This looks really cool. This is iPet, so you can, I wonder if you can still download some of these things, or if the servers, I probably would say the servers don't work anymore, but you can have your own little pet. So it'd be interesting to see how that works. And it does say includes the magic card. I had a look at this before. Yeah, check this out. This is like a pretty solid card, so it's pretty cool. It still comes with that as well, and there's actually one inside the cover. If I just pull that out, there's another one there as well. So that's pretty interesting. Is that the same one inside, or is that a different one? Oh, it's the same. Maybe that's good, because if you lost the card, you could just use the inside of your cover. And another $1. I got this next one, which is Move Fitness. So kind of before there was the VR, you were just doing this with the PlayStation, I want to say wands, but I don't think that's right, the Move controllers. You could use the Move controllers and an iToy to get fit and get active, which sounds strange. So I would like to give this a bit of a go, because I think it would be interesting. So I don't really think any of these Move games sold very well at all, which is why everyone got rid of their Move controllers. And when when the VR came out, everyone was scrambling to find them again. This one, you just need one Move controller. The shoot, I actually really, really want to play this, because this is a little arcade shooter game. So much sticky tape, where I think it's like an on-rails shooter, and you just shoot your way through 5 film levels. So that looks really cool. I do really want to play that. Some of these games I'm like, yeah, they're good to own. Some I'm like, I would really like to play them because they look really interesting. These next two, Sports Champions 1 and 2. So you just go through a range of sporting activities. So I think they were trying to mimic the success of the Wii. And I've got 2 games to go for you today. Looks to be a kids party game, Start the Party, Save the World, which is pretty interesting. So let's have a look at the back. Who's the greatest hero on your, I don't even know what that says under there, on your side. I don't know. It doesn't look like an eye. I don't know. Anyway, it does look like a kids party game that you could play. It says full move control for up to 4 players. Ooh, gee, I don't know if, I hope you'd share it around, because I don't think anyone has 4 of those. And the very last game, I don't really know much about this game, but it looks similar to maybe like a Buzz or something. So a game show online. So again, you'll need the Move controller and an iCamera. TV superstars. So live the dream as a TV superstar. You, your friends, and family take center stage in 4 unique game shows and star in a host of TV ads. I don't think I've ever wanted to star in an ad in a game, but star in Frogstar, Let's Get Physical, DIY Raw, and Big Pete Kitchen. I reckon I'm going to have to give that a go. Anyway, that is 50 games for $103. What do you think was my best game? What do you think was my worst game? Do you think that was good value for money? Do you think it was just a waste of money? If not, just let me know. I butchered that sentence, but we are 26 minutes in. So thanks for watching. If you have watched the video all the way through, stay tuned for some of my other videos. Lots of stuff on the channel. Have a wonderful day, stay safe, and see you soon. Crabman from Crabman Gaming here. Namaste and welcome to Recent Game Pickups 4. Here is my very first game, which is Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego for the PC and the Mac. I don't know if you played this game when you were younger, but I definitely did at school. So here it is. I want to give this a go later. You need 5 megabytes of space in your hard drive to play it. So I can't wait to give that one a go. We have over 70 games today, and these have been collected over the past 8 weeks. Got some peripherals to show you quickly as well. So the DJ Hero deck, I've been looking for one of these for ages. They're always really expensive online. However, I found this, you can see up here, for just $5 at a thrift store. Wasn't even sure if it worked. Forgot to tell you about Carmen Sandiego. That was just $1. So here's the back as well. All I needed to do was put some batteries in, and that worked. And it's put dust all over the mat here, which I spent a lot of time cleaning. I also picked up these. Oh, they're tangled. Couple of original Xbox controllers. Not the best condition, need tidying up a little bit. Here's another one. These were just $5 each, so I thought they'd be really cool. I do like this kind of see-through green controller as well. Pretty cool for just $5 each. And my last peripheral today, as I'm tangled in wires, is, which I didn't actually have, is a Kinect here as well. So an Xbox 360 Kinect. And this was just $5 as well. So always handy to pick up. I know there are millions of them. That's the peripherals out the way. Let's get a nice stack going here. The next game I've got for you is Civilization 3. There's another Civilization coming. Again, one of the other PC games that I've collected. Just the $3. I've tried to keep the stickers on as well. Pretty cool to have in the collection. Now, here's another game which I actually bought during the last recent game pickups. I just forgot to show you, which is NBA Jam Extreme on the Sega Saturn. Now, I thought, oh, amazing. I love NBA Jam. What a game. And I thought it was the bargain at just $20. However, there is a slight problem. This game, I'm just showing you some of these cool things we've got in here. This game is horrible. On the Super Nintendo and Mega Drive, it's great. In the Saturn, it's so choppy. The frame rate's about 10 frames per second. Whoops, can't get that disc off. Doesn't matter. So I played it once. It was horrible, and I'll probably never play it again. No wonder this was $20, and all the other Saturn games were $40 plus from the game store. So not the bargain I thought. I did find a cool bargain here. I've got a nice stack, and I'll go through them. I found this at a secondhand bookstore, and everything was half price in the store. So all of these games I'm about to show you were $2 to, or $1 to $2. So we've got The Incredible Hulk. I'm led to believe this is really cool on the original Xbox, quite a high Metacritic score. So I can't remember which of these games were $1 and which were $2, but even at $2, these games are all bargains. So you got The Incredible Hulk. Love the artwork on this as well. Then you've got a really cool game. I actually had this already, but you've got Ninja Gaiden. That looks pretty cool. Lots of pre-owned stickers, so maybe people thought that was too hard and they kept trading it in. We have Forza Motorsport, very, very solid on the original Xbox. I have been collecting quite a few original Xbox games. Not for sale, so it probably came bundled with an Xbox, but pretty cool. Here's a racing series I kind of have forgotten about, but it's Project Gotham Racing 2. Very, very good racing game back in the day. 10 out of 10 here from Xbox Magazine. Any bias at all? No, never. But really cool as well. Bit of a sad story is I actually don't have a working original Xbox at the moment. My actual Xbox blew up. Outlaw Golf. I turned it on one day and smoke just started billowing out of the back and nearly burnt my whole house down. And I found another one. There it is, pretty cool. Outlaw Golf, lots of fun. I found another one for $30 and I brought it home and the disk drive wouldn't open, even putting a pin in that little hole. So sadly, I'm still on the lookout. So the only ones I can play are these original Xbox games that work on the Xbox One, which is only about 30 of them. Here's Dead or Alive 3, cool beat 'em up. A fighting game. I know there's the purists out there who tell me there's a difference between a beat 'em up and a fighting game. Yeah, it's just a two-person fighting game. It's really good as well. Sensible Soccer. I always like some interesting alternate kind of sports games made by Codemasters, who I've been playing through the cricket series as well on my channel. I don't think I've ever played this one. This looks like it's come from a video store, but still in pretty good condition. Sometimes they ruin it from the video store, but it's just got a little S for sports there. This game, not an original cover. This is a video store game, but Flat Out 2. I'm always pretty keen on any racing game because you know they're always going to be fairly playable. A game I hadn't heard of, I think is a bit of like an action-adventure game, is Galleon. This has obviously come from the game store. I used to love this as well, where they would just put a sticker over the rating for Australia. That was pretty cool. Yeah, so hadn't really heard of this one before. Had a little look online what it looked like. Looks pretty interesting. They had some other random games too. So they had Sports Connection for the Wii. So again, I think this was $1.50. So I'm on the lookout for a Wii U, but at the moment the prices seem to have skyrocketed. About a year ago they were going for $80, and now I can't seem to find one for under about $150. Happy Feet makes me just happy looking at that cover. Again, good value for just $1 or $2. An old Madden. I'm hoping there's like a secret expensive game like an NCAA football 2013 or 2K13 or whatever that's called. So I'm hoping one day maybe I buy a Madden 07 and it's a secret $100 game. But if not, it's another cool game to add to the collection. And the last Xbox game, which I got from there as well, but it's originally come from JB Hi-Fi, Pro Stroke Golf World Tour 2007. Another one where they've just whacked the sticker on the top. I don't think it's licensed by anyone, but you got these cool chaps down here doing the commentary. Look how happy they are to be commentating. And the actual disc is in. Sometimes they have the wrong disc in, which isn't very helpful. Now onto some more modern games. I'll just leave the stack here over to the side, which you can see a little bit. So I've just started playing this Civilization 6, which is really, really cool. I've never played it for a long time. You actually get a little booklet in, which is nice. I've played it for about an hour. This was $20 online on the marketplace. I can't believe someone was selling this for just $20, so I went and picked it up. This is still in most stores for $60, $70, $90, so really cool. I'm enjoying this. A game I almost bought on day one, so just flick that dust out of the way. I nearly bought Frostpunk on day one when it was $60. Probably better on PC, but I found this for, it's a cool disc. I found this for $10, so I do want to give it a go. I've been playing a lot of City Skylines at the moment. That's a really cool game. I do like simulation games. I found this as well, Sparklight, for just $5, reduced from $25, obviously. A little bit kind of in the style of Stardew Valley, but less farming and more just adventuring. But the game looks very similar to that. So I thought for $5, that'd be lots of fun. Another $5 game, I have Children of Morta, which again is another, what looks like a bit of an adventure game as well. This one's still sealed, so that's always cool when you get them sealed as well. Was Sparklight sealed? No. They're both from EB Games, so I don't know why one's sealed and one's not. Sometimes they're out the back still sealed. I found this at JB a few days ago. It's a Devil May Cry. I believe this is the remastered where you get the first 3 games, but it doesn't really say that on the back. So I'm pretty sure it's not just the first game. But I tried to work it out before, so I'm not sure. Maybe this is just the first game, but maybe it's the first 3 games. Maybe it's something completely different. Maybe I'm just getting it wrong. But anyway, it was $5. And some more cheapies like from my last video. So I know Anthem's free to play, but always cool to have a physical game in your collection, especially a modern system for just $1. So there's Anthem. I've got all the wrestling games already on PS4, but 2K15 for $1. This has the awesome CM Punk story mode. So even if you only played the game for this, definitely worth $1. Cool to have in the collection. Deus Ex. This game always seems to be cheap. That was $1 as well. Another $1 game. Evil Within. Just $1 as well. I have this on PS4. Never quite got around to playing it, but it is pretty good. It's a Bethesda game. Again, one that always seems to be cheap. And then I did find Destiny for just $2. Again, it's just cheap and a modern console game. I've tried not to take the stickers off. Sometimes I take the stickers off. I haven't this time. We've got a small stack of PS1 games, which the first one is WWF Warzone. I've been looking for this game for a while. Probably $10 for this horrible case. Wasn't great, but I kind of want to play this through on my channel, the story mode, because it's really cool. So they released Attitude not long after, which was a lot better. But if you have a look inside, still got the cool disc. I thought that was Austin with his middle finger up there, but it's not. So really big focus on Steve Austin. The best part about this game is if you go into the character stats, they've got The Rock and they go Charisma 3 out of 5, which is hilarious. Sadly, no Royal Rumble in this game, or I would have uploaded some of it already. I wanted some more sports games. Now I have Shane Warne Cricket 99. Obviously, this is the same game, but this was released in Europe. So really the back cover is exactly the same. I probably should have brought Shane Warne out to show you, but maybe I'll do a little cricket video one time. So that was 5. So that was cool just to see if it was exactly the same. I like some weird old sports games. So Euro 2000, UEFA 2000, $3. That's when they used to try and fleece you twice a year to buy a FIFA, then buy a Euro game and buy a World Cup game. So I've got a couple of FIFAs. These were just some cheapies here. $2 for weird FIFA 97 with no front case and no instructions. But I'm trying to collect all the FIFAs because, you know, they're pretty cheap and they're pretty interesting to have all of them as well. And here's FIFA 99. So that was 5? Yeah, it must have been 5. So probably, I don't know, probably a couple of dollars too expensive, but that's okay. I do like finding PS1 games because they are quite hard to find. The next stack is the PSP and PS3 games. I just leave them on the side here. So I found these 3 at a charity shop in amongst the CDs, which was really, really strange. So you got Gangs of London, which is a GTA ripoff. There's the disc. At least you get some nice instruction manuals as well. I don't know how this went platinum because it's very mediocre. Next one, Beowulf. So they weren't the most exciting PSP games. I'm sure that's why they were donated to the charity shop. So probably just a very average action game. Think God of War, but half as good. And hey, a sports game. So you got World Soccer Winning 11. Ubiquitous Evolution 2008. I can't believe I managed to say that without getting that wrong. There's Cristiano Ronaldo on the cover. This would have been great fun in your PSP. Oh, there's some, that's my receipt from buying it in there. I thought sometimes there's old receipts in the game, and that's really exciting as well. I love seeing what people originally paid for them. Got Racket Sports. I bought this at a bookstore, which had a couple of, generally they'll have a handful of DVDs and sometimes games, and the games are sometimes priced really weirdly. I think this was $2 or $3 from memory. So good find. A game I've always wanted to play because I'm a big fan of Jack Black. Love the Pick of Destiny, or back in the day. I know it's getting on a little bit in years, but I did like that film, especially the Dio cameo. I was a big Dio fan. I'm a big Dio fan as well. So originally $110, and this looked like it's come from Dick Smith. So that store used to sell games, sometimes expensive games. I got this for $5. There's my receipt in there, so I won't get that on too much. $5. So there's actually 20 in the store, but then they had a little sign that said all PS3 games $5. So I thought that was cool. And they had a few games. When I found this game, another charity store, I thought I already had it and I wasn't sure. I couldn't remember if I had it or not. And it was $5, so probably tend to buy PS3 games for about $3. But I did buy it anyway. There's Messi on the cover, because it's got his name there. I actually had FIFA Street 3. I did have this once upon a time, but I don't know what happened to it. It disappeared. Killzone 3, awesome game. Really, really cool. Just $3. You can play this in 3D as well. I remember playing this back in the day, not that anyone does now, with a 3D TV. So I had the 3D glasses, which I used probably half a dozen times, and it was actually really hard to see what was going on. So there's Killzone 3, and you can play this with the eye and a wand as well. And then the last one was DJ Hero. So I was actually picking up these games first before I found the deck, in case I found the deck. This was just $1, because if you buy this without the deck, it's pretty useless. So those games are always cheap. All right, we've got some more games. We're going pretty well. This game I have wanted forever, and it is the original Forza Horizon. And just $6. Every time I found this game, it's been over 20. So to find it for just $6 was awesome. I've been playing this on my Xbox One. This is a backwards compatible game. It is just gorgeous. It is fantastic. I've played 2, 3, and 4, but I had never, ever... Oh, there's my receipt in there, so we'll keep that there. But there's the disc. It is absolutely amazing. I don't know how it is better with a Kinect sensor. Maybe someone can tell me in the comments below. But I was really, really excited. And if you look, that's probably the date it gets traded in. And I think I must have bought it a couple of days after that. This next one, another charity shop double pickup. Colin McRae Dirt 2, which is awesome. It's a really, really cool rally game. And you can see here, this really annoying when they write on it in pen. So I'm going to have to try and get that off somehow. I wish they just, well, at least just put it on the back, just stick it here. Really hate charity stores that do that. That's really, really annoying. But this one I got on the same day, but from a different store, The Sims 3. This was $3 as well. It's my receipt in there. Pretty sure it was $3. Let me have a look. $32. No, that was the person who bought it before. That wasn't me. Another little JB Hi-Fi haul here. Actually, no, there's just one, but we're still onto the 360 FIFA 16 for just $1. This was the year before they brought in the Journey. This was a charity shop pickup, Virtua Tennis 3. I think this was $3. These tennis games are excellent as well. Oh, $4. Oh, gee. Ripped off. Should have been $3. 2007's must-have sports game. So tennis, always good fun. If you ever play, I played Virtua Tennis 4 on the Vita, and that was just absolutely glorious. Fable 3, which I didn't have, for $4. I had Fable 1 and 2, but for some reason I didn't have Fable 3. So that was a cool pickup for $4. Homefront, which is an online game. Pretty sure the servers are shut down now, but it doesn't matter. Having the case for $2 is pretty cool. Let's have a look inside. Still looks pretty good. Just because I didn't have it, Kinect Adventures for $1. I think everyone has this game. They're probably lucky I bought it. And there was about 10 copies of this. And what did I do? Get the copy that was all broken. Well done me. Great job. It's in a cool purple case though. Here we've got Rally Sport Challenge. So I do like any random racing game I can find. Looks pretty cool. Do like rally games as well. I've been playing a bit of Sega Rally Championship on the Saturn. Just as a weird sidebar there. San Andreas on the Xbox. Do you know what? I've never actually really played San Andreas all the way through. I've played 3 and Vice City, and I've played 4, and I've played, what's the other one? 5. What's the other one? GTA 5. But I've never really played San Andreas. Back when it was just MA as well. and you get a cool map, which I think is still in here. Here it is. I was going to put that up in my game room, but I haven't yet. And then weird disc in here, which even though it says Skylanders, is London Cab Challenge. So weird, but racing, and it was $1. So, you know, let's get it. Okay, final stack. Thanks for bearing with me. This next one I found at a store. I remember playing this years ago and I absolutely loved it, and I've never been able, and it wasn't my game, I've never been able to track down a copy of my own. It's called Soul Bubbles. You kind of swipe with the stylus to split your bubble up and combine it. It's really cool. It was weird actually playing with the stylus again. I played this for a little bit. And there's a weird story about this game. So I got this from a Cash Converters, and when I opened it, like when I got it, it was like this rattle. And so I opened it up. I hope it's still in here. Yeah, this is what I got. So I got Soul Bubbles, and then a copy of Batman Blackgate for the 3DS, which was really weird because they sell single carts on their own. So it's like no one even bothered to open it up and check. So bonus Batman game with Soul Bubbles. So bizarre. Like I couldn't even make that up. I just heard this rattle and I just thought, oh, the carts come loose. Okay, the next group of games I bought from one person about a week and a bit ago for $30. So this is the stack here. This is the... Actually, no, that's wrong. These two weren't from there. Made a mess of that. We'll put these over on the side. Let's just move those out of the way for a minute. These two were both from JB Hi-Fi for $1. So you got Shaun White snowboarding. That's cool. And then they actually have this. They had a little section of games they just had the disc for, but what they've done is print off their own covers. And honestly, this is a really good print off. Like, I know it's just printed on a normal printer, but if more games, if more just disc only games came like this, and you can peel this not official artwork thing off here, but I'm not going to now. If more games came like this, I'd probably buy more disc only games, because put that on your shelf, you can't really tell the difference, especially if the price is right as well. And what was the other game? Oh, that was it. So this is SmackDown versus Raw. They were both $1 each. Now we're on to the stack that I bought last weekend. So 7 Wii games and 1 3DS game for $30. We've got Dinosaurs 3D, which isn't an amazing game, but was one of the first 3DS games to come out. So I thought that was pretty cool to own. Probably wouldn't have gone out of my way to own it, but in this bundle for cheap, I was happy to get it. Now in this bundle as well, there's some really unusual Wii games in here as well. Now some, I was going to not use the word that I probably want to describe. Someone had cherry-picked Endless Ocean before I got there, so I was really upset. I really wanted Endless Ocean. But anyway, I got these games. So Disaster Day of Crisis, this looks really interesting. I had a little look at some footage on the Wii. I love the disc art as well, and this manual just looks absolutely gorgeous. I really want to give this a go. I've hooked the Wii up recently as well. I'm trying not to butcher the pronunciation of this, but Bakugan Battle Brawlers. So I think it's just a fighting game. Oh, it might be a card game. Yeah, I think you do battle with cards. So I know people are into that, and look at that disc and artwork. That is almost my favorite one so far. So there's Bakugan on the Wii. So you don't see some of these around very often as well. You got Ben 10 Omniverse. I remember Ben 10 being very popular. Again, if they do a kind of anime style, the game holds up really well, still looks really cool. You've got some excellent artwork again. Excellent disc. Oh, the disc's okay, but this artwork here is fantastic. Obviously being an animation. Not the most exciting back cover. A weird game here that I'd never heard of. Dragon Blade Wrath of Fire. So it looks like a bit of an adventure game. Lots of waggling, I'm sure, attacking your enemies. Gee, a boring disc, but cool art on the booklet, which I know is the same as the front cover. Game I know nothing about, but you've got Nickelodeon Attack and the Guardians of Gross, which when I was a kid I'd always pronounce it Gross because I didn't know what it said. It's a little Nintendo game. Parent Goes Free. to the UK's top attractions. Oh, how exciting. The Stench of Trouble. Play mini games, attack with spectacular juju magic, perform amazing acrobatic moves. Well, boring disc. But again, I know that's the cover art, but the booklet looks cool. And the final one, this has a really, really cool art style. I looked up some footage on YouTube of this as well, but the Secret Saturdays Beasts of the Fifth Sun. Love the disc, love the art, the booklet again. Look on the back, swing into action. So kind of an adventure game as well. 3D open world. Well, not open world, but you know what I mean. 3D adventure game. So that was a pretty cool haul. Oh, and I got this one as well. But, you know, Link's crossbow training, pretty self-explanatory here. Most Wii collectors have that one. All right, we're into the final stretch. Thanks for bearing with me. This is the PS2 stack, and I kind of got these from a few random places. I've been playing through lots of cricket videos. Sorry about all the dust that's come off these games. I've been trying to find some more cricket videos. I had 2002, but if I can find a variant, I will try and buy it. So I had the one with the Australians on the cover. This is obviously the English one. This was $2, so pretty cheap. Cricket 2004. I think this was like $1, so I picked this up as well because my Cricket 2004 was the English cover, so I didn't have the Australian cover. I've got Cricket 2007. That was really good fun to play. Scored over 200 in 10 overs. You can watch this on my channel. Same for those other cricket videos. I've got 2002, 2004. I did this on my channel as well. Ricky Ponting, 2007. Don't get this confused. We used to have some competing cricket games back in the day. EA versus Codemasters. And some games were licensed, some games weren't. This was a weird game I found at a charity store, and it's SmackDown versus Raw 2010, but on the PS2. So I don't know how many copies they made, and sometimes these games varied a bit because they didn't have the season mode. Some of them had their own season mode. So I just thought that was cool having this for the PS2. And it was $5. It's a little bit pricey, but you know, it was 50. So, you know, there's a bit of a discount. So I just thought it was a cool thing to have, and maybe I'll take some of these stickers off later because that is annoying. It's right over Undertaker's face. The original Guitar Hero. This was $3. Cool to own. The start of the series. I don't have the PS2 guitar, but I've got it on PS3. I've got a couple of PS3 guitars. But just cool to have the original, the one that kick-started it all. That was $3. The sticker's still on there. Bit of a licensed game from a film, Narnia: The Lion, Witch and the Wardrobe. It's a shame they never finished off this series. These were some of my favourite books as a kid, from the first one, The Magician's Nephew, to The Last Battle. That's the final book. Or is it The Final Battle? I can't remember. Forgotten. But there's a seven book set that you can read. This was $5, so probably a little bit pricey, but I think I'd been game hunting in a few stores and I hadn't bought anything, so I was getting withdrawal symptoms and I felt like I had to buy something. Another slightly pricey one I got last week, Athens 2004, was $5. My Sydney 2000 video is actually really popular on my channel, surprisingly popular out of nowhere. So I thought, hey, if I get Athens, I could play that and maybe some people would watch that too. Next game is LMA Manager 2005. Did you ever play this game? Because me and my friend were addicted to the LMA Manager series on the PS2. I used to go around his house after school. Sometimes I'd stay over. We'd play LMA 2004 and then 2005, made by Codemasters as well. He would always go Newcastle. I would always go Man City. This is back before Man City were good. So Man City were a kind of lower struggling team. We'd have great fun playing that around his house. So lots of fond memories. For $1, I couldn't say no. I'm always a big fan of any Australian game I can find that's probably just region specific. Maybe this came out in the UK as well, but you got Rugby 2004. But it is Australian specific because you've got whoever this is on the cover. Sorry, I don't really follow rugby. But, you know, he's the Wallabies guy here on the cover. And you can see, does it tell me who it is on the back? No, but officially licensed. So they haven't really made too many rugby games after that disaster that was couple of disastrous rugby games on the PS4, one of which I have. It's got a Metacritic of like 30 or something horrible. A couple of cheap games here, Medal of Honor Frontline. I'm pretty much happy to always pick up games if they are a couple of dollars. We've got Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon, that was $2 as well. Good disc, no book, but that's okay. They had lots of these styles of games. These used to just come out everywhere back on the PS2 and PS1, these shooters. Just 2 games to go. You've done such a great job staying with me today, so well done. We've got Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. This looks around about the time the Johnny Depp film came out, because this looks like Johnny here. What on earth is that down there? Is that meant to be an Oompa Loompa? That is terrifying, especially this. Check that out. That would haunt your dreams. It's got the Warner Brothers logo on. Again, because it's a movie tie-in, sorry for shining you there. Because it's a movie tie-in, I quite like it. Nice brown disc as well. We're on to the final game. Let's try and round this out at an even half an hour. We've got iToy Play 2. I have 1 and 3. I do have an iToy. Be cool to get that out. I'd love to try and film some, but yeah, that might be a bit weird. Got heaps of cool party games on here as well. And this was just the $3. So thanks for watching today. If you enjoyed the video, please like, please subscribe, please comment. See you later. Crabman from Crabman Gaming here. Today I am going through recent game pickups 5. I have 46 games to go through with you today. Just at the start, I appreciate if you would like the video, comment, and if you are enjoying this video, then please subscribe. Okay, the first thing I'm going to go through today is I picked up an original Xbox. Came with this cool kind of see-through blue controller, a remote, and about 12 games, which I'll go through at the end. Sadly, the disk drive wouldn't load, so that was a little bit annoying. I picked that whole bundle up for $50. I'm going to try and soft mod it, as I do have about 150 original Xbox games, so maybe look out for that video in the future. The next thing, well, the first thing game on the collection is the Super Mario 3D All-Stars collection, and this is just absolutely fantastic. I don't care if people say it's just ROMs that have been put onto a cartridge. It is absolutely amazing. I've got about 35 stars on 64, and I'm at about 45 stars on Galaxy. I've never actually played Sunshine, so I'm saving that until last. Look at this glorious art in between. The cartridge is in my Switch at the moment. My recommendation, definitely pick this up if you have a Switch. Got a couple of PS4 games, from the great to not so great. This came out on the same day as Mario. Gee, I'm a huge wrestling fan. I have about 25 Royal Rumble videos on my channel, including this from Battlegrounds, but this was a really, really big disappointment. Full of microtransactions. Not recommended unless you pick it up for maybe $10. So this cost me $59. Mario cost me $69. I wish I could have taken this back to the store. I didn't. My next game is, I just picked this up last night, so I haven't had a chance to play it yet. I've played Last of Us 1. So I've really just done the installation, 95 gigabytes required. If you look inside, it's like Red Dead Redemption 2 and Final Fantasy Remake, where you get 2 discs. You have an installation disc here, and I've actually got the play disc in my PS4. So really looking forward to playing through that. The next is, I got a little bundle online from Marketplace. This is probably my best find of the whole bundle. It's Dragon Quest IV, the Chapters of the Chosen. Now, I've always been looking for more Dragon Quest games. I've played 8 and 11 and probably another one I've forgotten. Always looking out for them. I think this is in my new 3DS XL. I've just played through about the first half an hour. I didn't realize how rare this game was. I went on eBay. The cheapest one I could find was $185. So this is definitely for me to keep and not resell. But yeah, this was just $5. And I also got these 3 games as well. Pop Tropica Adventures, it looked pretty cool, so I picked it up. Another game which I've almost heard nothing about. I can find no information about it at all, but it looks like it's from the creator of Hello Kitty. It's called Angel Cat Sugar. Just a really kid-friendly game. I gave this a go for about 10 minutes. It was pretty good fun. There was no enemies. It's just really about collecting things. Pretty interesting. Probably have the thing on it. There it is. The game cartridge is there. So very little information about this game online, but I thought it was pretty cool to pick up. And now the last one, it's a shame it doesn't have the original packaging, but this is called Easy Piano and Keyboard. And, oh well, it's just a old EB Games case. So I thought the only attachment was the Guitar Hero attachment, but you actually, I'll put that here, you actually get this little keyboard, and I'm just going to play a few seconds for you just to show you how it works. If I can find where I need to press. So you have this mini keyboard, and you just play along to the song. So there's lots of, I've made a bit of a mistake there because I'm trying to play around. I'm trying to play around the camera. But a really cool little attachment. The only problem is you can't play this on a DSi. You need the GBA slot here. Alright, that's as much as I'll show you there. But I thought you would like to see a little bit of Easy Piano and Keyboard with the attachment. Game I found, I didn't take some of the stickers off these, so they were all $5 each. I'll buy pretty much any wrestling game as long as it's cheap. I remember playing this back in the day, WWE SmackDown vs. Raw 2009 on the DS. You have to use the stylus a lot as well to do your moves, but for $3 I couldn't say no. And then my local Big W, I actually went to 2 Big Ws, had a bit of a clear out of PS4 games. So all the following games were $10 each. So I do always mean to play my VR a little bit more, but we have Space Junkies here on the PlayStation VR. So this was $10, so I thought it's pretty good. I'm trying to collect as many physical VR games as I can. An absolute classic game here that I haven't played. I really want to play Yakuza 0. This has a Metacritic of about 86. So if you haven't played this, well, you should. And I haven't played it and I want to. So I'm going to try and find time to play this. A game that seemed to bomb really badly, Shenmue 3. This hasn't been out that long at all. This came out earlier this year. This was just $10. It kind of, I think, hugged the original Shenmue 1 and 2 too closely, and I tried to play Shenmue 1 last year. It was just very slow, even though I like a lot of the ideas. $10 more here, Ark Survival Evolved. Obviously, a survival game, but I had a little bit of a look online, and I'm quite interested in it, so I do want to play it. Again, reviews a little bit hit and miss, but it's the kind of game that I generally enjoy. Then we've got Super Monkey Ball, which is a bit of a remaster from Super Monkey Ball. I think it was on the Wii. I can't remember what other consoles it was on, but I definitely remember it being on the Wii with the Wiimote. So that was $10 as well. And then I really love bizarre games that people haven't heard of or have a really limited release. I think the cover for this is so bad because you look at this cover and you can't even work out what kind of game it is. It actually says DCL, even though this doesn't look like a D at all. It is the Drone Champions League, which it does say it down here. But you glance at this cover and you have no idea what this game is about. It is actually about racing drones. So very little information online about this game, but I do want to give it a go. Maybe I'll start a bit of a weird game series, but I thought that was cool, and it was only $10, so it was reduced from $60. So why not? A couple of interesting ones here. We've got Unravel 1 and 2 for the Xbox One in a bundle. That was $7. Again, for just about all these games, I do want to play, but will I find the time? I'm not sure. At a Cashies, I found WWE 2K16 for just $3, so didn't have this on the Xbox One. So I thought, hey, it's just $3. Let's pick it up. Now, I do have a special bookstore that I go to sometimes, which sometimes has games. They had this copy of Skyrim. It's just, you can see here, it was just $2, which is really awesome. And if you look inside, it still has the map, which is great. Has a receipt for when they bought it. a while ago. Unfortunately, they also paid for the disc protection from EB Games. Don't do that. Disc looks really good. So $2 to own another copy of Skyrim. Have a lot of copies of it, but it was just $2. And then this was another $2 game here. One I didn't have, Star Wars Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith. So always worth picking up a kind of branded game, a Star Wars game for $2. Had another good find a few weeks ago. This was at an op shop and they just had a basket of old Wii games. These were absolutely the highlights. They didn't have prices on. I was kind of hoping there'd be a few dollars and I'd buy the whole basket. But the lady there said she'd do them for $7 each. So I thought, well, I'll just pick these two out. Super Smash Brothers Brawl. A bit of a secret, I've actually never played a Super Smash Brothers game, so this could be my first one. And Zelda Twilight Princess, which I did have years ago, and I didn't love it, but I think it's a bit better the longer you get into the game. So those were two really good finds, just $7 each for those. Found another couple of cheapies on the Wii from a Cash Converters, a good place to find games at the moment. Please don't go there and take all the games I want to buy. $2 for Wii Sports Resort. I actually didn't have this, so that's really cool as well. It seems like, oh, there's like a lot of, it seemed quite heavy, like it had a big booklet in there. And then also this weird game, which is called Sim Animals. So that was just $2 as well. I don't really know what you do. You find animals. It says play with more than 30 animals. So I think it's just a whole bunch of mini games, but look at the cover. The cover is awesome, and it was just $2. So how can you say no to that? Now, not my local JB Hi-Fi. Actually, I've got a couple more from Cash Converters first. Ashes Cricket 2009. This is one of my missing cricket games, so I will record a video on this and upload this to my cricket game channel. I only had this on the 360, and it wouldn't actually work on my Xbox One. It wasn't backwards compatible. So this was one of my missing games. I'm glad I found it. There's a cool PlayStation Move game called The Fight. I tried to look online. There wasn't much footage on this at all. So another one I could perhaps play, and you can use two PlayStation Move controllers here. So I do like these weird Move games because they didn't sell very well at all. So cool to get them. All right, my local JB, we're just clearing out some old games. You had to find them in the bargain bin, and literally I bought every one I could find. So the first one, which is actually a pretty cool game to find, is Wallabies Rugby Challenge, which is just $1. I like any kind of Australian-themed sports games that wouldn't have a wide international release. So for $1 for a rugby game is pretty cool. Diggs Nightcrawler. This comes with the big book. I actually already have this big book series, but again, if it's $1, I can't say no. And also sometimes they're good just for a replacement case if you ever need to swap out a case, so that's pretty good. SingStar Volume 2. Never really played SingStar. You can listen to me sing on SmackDown Here Comes the Pain videos for Chris Jericho's entrance, but unless they've got Judas by Fozzy on here, they definitely don't. I know that was a bit of a joke. Then I don't really want to sing it. Check out this game, the best PlayStation 3 game of all time. Get Fit with Mel B. And you can use the Move again with this, enhanced with the eye. I think you can play this without the eye, but if you want to get fit with Mel B, this is the game for you. Another one here, Dude's Big Adventure. And I think you needed the big, huge bankruptcy tablet for this as well, that pretty much bankrupted the company because it was really expensive and no one really wanted the huge tablet. But for some reason, this game's just floating around, UDraw, just floating around on its own. You know, possibly if you've bought the UDraw with another game and then you want, hey, I want another game for my UDraw system, that's the one for you. Cool, cool cover. I love this cover so much. It is Madden 09 All Play on the Wii. $1 whole. They've tried to reduce it a few times. So this must have been sitting in the JB Hi-Fi for like 11 years, waiting for somebody to buy it. Although it was pre-owned, so maybe it got traded in. I just got this because it was $1, and I know there's things like NCAA Football 13 or 14 that are worth a ridiculous amount of money. So sometimes I think, hey, is this game worth a lot of money. And then Dance Party Club hits. These games are just getting better and better. Another whole $1 of my hard-earned money. You play it with a GameCube controller though, so yeah, that could be pretty cool. All right, I haven't really looked at this too much. It's time to shake your body. All right, let's move on. I've got 3 games to go, and then I'm on to my big Xbox bundle. Samurai Warriors 3, $3. I assume this is a bit like Dynasty Warriors, just a bit of a hack and slash kind of game. Oh yeah, it's got a nice big booklet in there. Sometimes the cases feel really heavy, which is unusual now because the cases are just a disc and a little one-page sleeve. So feeling a book in is actually makes the box feel quite heavy. We've got MotoGP 06. This has a really high Metacritic. I went and looked this up. I think at least over 80. Oops, it's still sticky tape shut. Haven't even had a look. Maybe the game's not even in there. It sounds like it is though. So I do like old racing games because they're really easy to pick up and play. You know, you don't have to learn a complicated control system. You can just go whack it in. It's bike racing. I know what I'm going to get. My aim is to win the race. Next one is F1 Race Stars. I think I had this on PS Plus, but a physical copy is pretty cool. So it's like arcade Formula 1. So there it is there. It looks pretty good inside. So yeah, again, it's racing. It's easy to pick up and play. You don't have to learn complicated controls. I don't know if this sold very well, but it's got 94% down here from Toxic. You know, just a well-reputed game reviewer. All right, now we're on to the bundle, which I bought for $50 with the Xbox. When I opened the Xbox, it would load, but the games wouldn't load up. So the disk drive would open, but yeah, you didn't get anything. But I got these cool games with it. So yeah, if I get one that does work, I can play all these games. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4, pretty awesome. Hopefully you're enjoying Tony Hawk's 1 and 2. I haven't got it yet. I might have to wait for it to get a bit cheaper. Crash Bandicoot Wrath of Cortex, not quite on the elite level. And Crash Bandicoot's just come out in this last week, Crash Bandicoot 4. So if you've been playing that, let me know how you've been going. A cool racing game, MX vs ATV Unleashed. I'm not sure, featuring Australia's Chad Reed. I'm not sure this is the best game, but again, it's a racer. You know what you're getting in for. Drive 3R, it's Driver 3 with a weird name. Obviously, it sold enough to get on the classic list here. Brute Force, a game. I remember seeing this in the game store, obviously years ago. Nice big book. Look how big the books used to be. But I haven't played it. Bit of a first-person shooter. I don't know how long it is. 18 missions through 6 worlds. I think it's got a really cool cover though, so I like this kind of lizard man here. Another cool racing game, Need for Speed Underground. Played Need for Speed Heat not too long ago. So this person obviously had some pretty good taste in games. Oh, I remember playing this. I haven't played this for such a long time. Unreal Championship. This is just fast-paced shooting fun. And it was good to play a shooter of this quality on a console as well. Generally, if you wanted to play something like this, you had to play it on a PC. Not everyone had a good PC. Same like this is a kind of a PC port here of Counter-Strike. I do already have a copy of this. I think I've got about 3 copies of this game, but doesn't hurt to have another one. Max Payne, very kind of film noir type game. Bit of a kind of action adventure. I remember I had friends around the time of this came out. They absolutely loved the Max Payne series. I've never played it, but they used to say it was good. Finding Nemo. It's a weird way they write it on the cover here. It's like Disney and a backslash, which I don't really understand. But you got Finding Nemo here. What else have we got? Burnout 3 Takedown. Oh, I used to love the Burnout games. So that's one I played a little bit. Good fun. I've also got that on the PS2. And the final game for today. Hey! We've perhaps saved one of the best games for last. It is Halo Combat Evolved. Obviously the game that put the Xbox on the map. Now, for some reason, I can't put cards at the end of this video due to the weird aspect ratio, but if you have enjoyed the video, please like it. That would really help me out. If you comment, I will definitely comment back. And if you subscribe, I'll be very grateful, looking to head towards the big 1,000. So thanks very much for watching today. Check out some other videos on my channel and have a wonderful day. Crabman from Crabman Gaming here, and welcome to Recent Game Pickups 6, along with 8 console pickups as well. Right here you can see the PlayStation 5 box. Here it is set up next to my TV. Please forgive the big long Ethernet cable there, transferring my data over. So you can see this unboxing in a different video. So we'll slide the PS5 box out of the way and let's get started on our video. So obviously with the PS5, I got a couple of games. Sackboy Big Adventure, did open this on the unboxing, and I also got Dirt 5, although I have been playing a lot of Astro's Playroom. That game is fantastic and also free. So those are my 2 physical games to begin with. I also got a lot of other weird consoles. This is my absolute favorite. Move over PlayStation 5. Check out this bad boy, and I do want to do a full review of this a little bit later on. It is the V-Smile Motion, released in around 2007, and these are the games. And you have this big motion controller here. You got this massive button, huge button to press, and there's some hints and some cool buttons here. So it does still work. I have played it. It is hilarious, and here are the games I got for it. So Thomas, Princess and the Frog. They also learning content on the back because obviously it's an educational system. The Wiggles, it's Wiggle time. And just have a look at these cartridges. Really interesting to look at. This one, I've forgotten what it is. It might come back to me later. We've got My Pet Puppy. And these orange ones are actually the games with some motion features, a little bit like the Wii. We've got Tinkerbell. I think it was Mickey and Friends, that the blank case. We've got Little Brats. I haven't tried that one out yet. And Dora's Fix-It Adventure. So I can't wait to play some of those games for you. They are absolutely hilarious. I also got a couple more of these. Well, this is enormous. It is the original Xbox. Now, a little bit of a story. I'd bought one in the last video. I actually now own 5 of these. The first one I bought came with about 12 games. Got it home, wouldn't work. Bit annoying, so I kind of got a bit of a refund on that. Bought another one for $30 with about another 12 games, and that actually did work. So I have 1 working Xbox out of 5. So what tends to happen is the disk drive fails, and it weighs a ton as well. So now I've got 5 of those sitting in my game room. Oh, I forgot to mention about the V-Smile. I actually got this cool controller with it as well. Still sealed, even though it was on clearance for $42 unopened. So that's pretty interesting, along with lots of manuals for the games as well. I know that's upside down, but I'll go through these in the V-Smile V-Motion video. So they're pretty cool. I'm looking forward to going through that. And this console cost me just $20 as well. So I thought an awesome pickup. You can just play it with batteries as well, but it has an adapter. So you can plug it in. I also found myself another Sega Mega Drive, as it's known here in Australia, but you probably know it as the Sega Genesis. Sadly, it's missing a bit of a volume toggle there. Didn't come with any games. However, I've got a few Mega Drive games and can blast out Sonic the Hedgehog 2, one of my favorite games of all time. Absolutely love that game as a kid. And my last 2 consoles, this was from the same place as one of the original Xboxes. And I had to do a little bit of repair work on this Xbox, so I got a small discount as well, and it came with about 12 or 14 games. Now, the guy still has his original gamer tag and save files on there, so I might do a video where I just go through and just see what he's been up to. If anyone's interested in that, that could be pretty interesting. I've loaded up his Skyrim save. It was, yeah, interesting indeed. And because I thought that Xbox didn't work, a few days later I went and bought this one, which this is a 320 gigabyte Xbox, and it looks really beautiful in white. I haven't seen many of them in this white color. I'll try and fit it all in. You can probably see the model, it's upside down on the back, but this was just $50, and I thought that would be really awesome. And this one's a 320 gigabyte model, whereas the other one is just the arcade 4 gigabyte version. All right, now on to some games. I've forgotten to mention we're 5 minutes in. Oh dear. There's a special giveaway in this video as well, which will be this copy of Big Bash Boom. I know I have a lot of cricket supporters on the channel, so what you need to do to win this game, and I will post it anywhere in the world to you, what you'll need to do is go to my Facebook page, @Crabman Gaming, and just like the post that this video is on. I'll do a post with this video on, and all you need to do is like the post, and I will select a winner at random, and I will message you, and if you send me your address, I will post this to you as a special giveaway for this video. So you can win this video, you can win this game, Big Bash Boom, on the PS4. It is region free. All right, on to some more cricket videos. Not cricket videos, but cricket games. Now, I had never ever heard of these games until I kind of saw an eBay listing for them, and then I did a little bit more research. There's nothing about these games on Wikipedia, but they're from an Indian developer called Trine, and it's Street Cricket Champions and Street Cricket Champions 2. So I am going to upload these on the channel soon. The first PlayStation 3 I tried this on, this one didn't work, but number 2 did work. So hopefully I can get them both to work and get them up on the channel. These are quite rare cricket games, generally just released in India and I think the UK. So they definitely didn't make their way to Australia. These were quite expensive. Postage was quite a lot as well, but I think well worth it. Have a look on eBay if you want to know rough prices for these 2 games. I also found these at the kind of the second-hand store, which was really cool. You've got NBA Jam Tournament Edition for the Game Boy, and along with one of the best platformers on the system, and the bizarrely named Wario Land Super Mario Land 3. I think there's 4 of these Mario Land games, and they're in just bizarre order, but I couldn't pass these up as you don't see these very often. They were 15 each, and I think because I bought both of them, the guy at the shop had these on the counter, old Halo manual, and he said you can just have these. So that's pretty cool. I've had a little flick through these, and who's really going to say no to a couple of free game guides? I don't really know who would have bought these, and I don't really know if I'd have paid more than $1 or $2 for them, but it was pretty cool throwing them in. Especially this Halo 2 book is quite big, 226 pages. So I got those as well. There are still a ton of games to go, trying to move them all out of the way. I might do this little stack first. This stack was an awesome pickup. I saw this online. $15 for all of these PlayStation portable games and a couple of films. So you have Grand Theft Auto Liberty City Stories, which is really cool. There's actually a little bonus here. So you can see some of them don't have their original cases, but for $1 each, that is okay. Inside The Sims 2 is this gem. Are you ready? Here it is. It is Final Fantasy Tactics War of the Lions, one of the best PSP games. Sadly, I actually do own it already, but it's cool to have another copy. Luminous, which is still really good fun to play today. Caballeros Dangerous Hunts. Justice League Heroes, Lego Pirates of the Caribbean or Caribbean, depending on where you live, Assassin's Creed Bloodlines, Peter Jackson's King Kong, Aragon, Prince of Persia, Toy Story. So there's a lot of games for $15, plus Fun with Dick and Jane and Hitch, starring Will Smith. So a pretty good bundle I thought I had picked up there. All right, now we go on to this big stack for the clear out. I found Ni no Kuni Wrath of the White Witch at a Big W for $29, and I played it on the PS3. It is amazing, so I thought I'm going to play it again. I'm about 10 hours in. to that game, which is awesome. Another game I've been wanting to play for a long time is AI The Somnium Files. One of my favorite series is the Danganronpa series. I've played all 3, which are just phenomenal. I recommend them if you are at least perhaps 15 or over. So $20 for this game is awesome. It's mainly a visual novel with some, I think, like crime solving elements. Yeah, you have to investigate crime scenes in this one, which is cool. A lot of these have their prices still on. I didn't take them off so you could see the price. We've got Age of Wonders, Planetfall. This is a bit like Civilization kind of meets Heroes of Might and Magic on the PC. I used to love Heroes of Might and Magic 2. That was one of my favorite games. I have a lot of favorite games that I mentioned. 3 was awesome as well, but I had 2 as a kid, so that holds a special place in my heart. Something I've wanted to try for a long time is Mud Runners or Snow Runners. And they've got this expansion here, American Wilds, and it's $9. So I'm really looking forward to giving this one a go. Now I can play these on the PS5. The load times are going to be even quicker, which is great. I've got Slay the Spire for $5. This is a card battling game. I am really into this. I've played this for about 3 or 4 hours and I'm having a really good time. I just don't have enough time to play it. So if you can find this, not even cheap, if you can just find this, buy it. It's great. I've been looking for Gran Turismo Sport to play for the VR. So $12, I thought, let's pick it up. I do like racing games. I'm not amazing at them, but I do like them. This weird game, I think this is from a French developer. It's called Fort Boyard. And for some reason, it's actually just $2. It wasn't $2.95. I don't know why they put the $2.95 sticker on and then charged $2. A couple of these really cheap games I picked up for Xbox as well, so you may see them crop up again. I'm just a sucker for cheap games, so anything I can pick up that's a bit weird, I will get it. So we've got Steven Universe Save the Light and OKKO Let's Play Heroes. Now Save the Light is like $37 on the PlayStation Store, so here you get 2 games for $5. I don't know when I'm going to get time to fit this in, but it's a cool, weird game to add to the collection. Along with this one, I thought this looked interesting. It reminds me a little bit of the Godzilla game. So it's Override Mech City Brawl. You have 2 giant mechs brawling throughout the city. So that looks alright. Again, I like a good racer. So I've played a lot of the MotoGP games. Well, this is MotoGP. What am I thinking of? MXGP games. I like those. Made by Milestone here. So this was 5 and it's MotoGP 18. So it's cool to add that in. I always think they're pretty cool. This game was really weird. I actually hadn't heard of it. This was just the blind buy Ghost Parade. And I think it is just a platforming game. So I don't know how good it is. I'm going to say probably not good. I think it came out in 2019. So it's less than a year old and it's $5. So it's probably not great, but I like the cover art. So that was 5. I ordered this game off eBay and it never arrived, so that was pretty annoying. This is the last, not the last, but one of the few games I haven't covered on the channel for cricket. So Cricket 2005 with Adam Gilchrist on the cover. I'm looking forward to giving this one a go and adding that. So if you like cricket games, have a look at one of my playlists. I've played about 18 cricket games on there with full commentary, so that's pretty cool. We've got Trine 4. This came with a really awesome map I'm going to put up on my wall. So after I've invented the time machine, I can play all of these. Found another little PSP game. This was at a retro game store, $4.20. Looks pretty cool. And I haven't seen this around a lot, so I'm going to put this in the PSP later and give this a go. I know 4 was the pinnacle of the Pro Evo series. 3 and 4 were great. 5 was still really good as well. And then after 6, they just tailed off a little bit. Again, weird games. Mutant Football League. Not really huge into American football, but I'm willing to give it a bit of a go just because it's got monsters in. So another weird game for $5. Have Northgard. I think I've got this on the PS4 as well, but this was a whole $2.50. So this is a little bit like Civilization, kind of an exploration game. You build your town up and go and explore the world. So this isn't as bad as it seems for $2.50. So I think it's got some merit to it there. This game I've been looking for a while, so I'm really glad that I could find it, especially for $4. I've been watching a lot of Long Way Up, which is Ewan McGregor and Charlie Boorman. And then Charlie Boorman did the Paris-Dakar Rally in 2000 and I think it's about 7 or 8. I've just watched that series as well. So I wanted to find games. There's Dakar 18 on the PS4, but it's really hard to find and it's not very good. A game I've been looking for a while. I'm trying to complete my wrestling collection. Not very cheap, but $30 for Day of Reckoning 2. Sometimes they accidentally put Day of Reckoning 1. I've seen that before because the covers look really, really similar. I probably should have got Day of Reckoning 1 out just to compare them. But I can get this up, try and get a Royal Rumble. Sadly, you can't simulate a Royal Rumble, so I'm going to have to play one and try and win. Otherwise, you get a game over. Another one that wasn't super cheap, but I can't go to this retro gaming store without buying at least one Saturn game. And the PAL releases, or at least the Australian releases, look really different to the North American releases or the Japanese kind of releases that come in a kind of PS1 style case. So we've got Manx Superbike. I really like this. I had a look at this yesterday because you get a really nice booklet. You get a cool disc. And if I can get this out, check this out. CD video for the Sega Saturn. So you could, essentially they were VCDs. They were like DVDs before they were DVDs. And you could watch films, even though this is just advertising all of the games. But this, here's some of the games. I have Daytona USA. And I do need to play some of my Saturn games on the channel. I'm up to a whopping 8 games. But you could buy a video CD and then it was kind of like watching it before they were DVDs. So that it wasn't really around in Australia too much that I remember. But maybe some people had it and I just didn't know about it. So Manx Superbike TT. I once went to the Isle of Man during the TT and that was pretty interesting. A whole $1 for Rapala Pro Fishing. Just going to flip that over quick. Now, I'd kind of forgotten this game existed, which is Pro Evolution Soccer Management. So I think this came out around Pro Evo 5 time. And it was basically, there was LMA Manager on the PlayStation 2 as well. That was really popular, a console management game. So you had LMA and then Pro Evo tried to get in. Obviously now Football Manager is the king. But I thought that looked really interesting. I love weird, bizarre games. So you've got Bicycle Casino, which includes Texas Hold'em, for just $2 on the Xbox. Here it is. Was once $25. Some poor soul played for this. But $3 from Cashies was probably a little bit better. This game, for Australians, is really bizarre, but it's NASCAR 08. This is obviously come from a video store. A whole $1. So maybe I'll do a video on this where I'll have an Australian plays NASCAR for the first time and try and work out what's going on and what's the appeal. Really weird at the markets. This was $1, Beijing 2008. Now my Sydney 2000 video is ridiculously popular and I don't understand why. So I think I need to play Athens 2004 and this and get them on the channel because Sydney 2000 is a big mover. We've got Riot Civil Unrest, which is a little bit like I kind of want to say like a bit like Tower Defense, but it was just a couple of dollars. So it is sealed, mainly sealed, apart from this little bit. So maybe I'll play that. This is one I wanted for a while. I think this was $5. I think this was 50% off, but Forager, so presented by Humble Bundle. And I really like the graphics here as well, where you explore and collect items. So I know in every video I talk about my love for Stardew Valley. I kind of want to play some of these spin-offs as well. Dishonored 2. This was just, I think this was $2. It's sealed. I also had it already, but we'll keep it sealed. Wolfenstein 2, $5. So again, a bargain. I have played the old, I've forgotten the other two, the New Order and the Old Blood. I think those are the two before. Raid, World War II. This was $2 as well. I don't know why it's got an old sticker. I think sometimes they grab a copy from out the back and it's got the old stickers on there. This was a weird one. I just liked the look of the cover. Bomber Crew Complete Edition. And it's like a simulation, so you look after your ship and then go and do some missions. So that looks pretty interesting. Here's Northgard back again, but for the PS4. And I think, oh no, this was $5. That was, jump one in. Runbow Deluxe Edition, $2. So a bit of a multiplayer game. And apologies if it went dark. A huge cloud has come over. Fort Boyard did have that on the PS4, but if a game's only $2, I just can't help myself. It's like half a cup of coffee, or sometimes a third of a cup of coffee in Australia. It's just sometimes really expensive. I'm going to go through these two together. You've got Drawn to Life, the next chapter. I have played Drawn to Life a long time ago on the DS. So it was pretty cool. I liked it. And I actually didn't know they did a SpongeBob SquarePants edition. So I thought that looked really, really cool. I don't know how different that is to the regular one. And looks like they've come from this store, but it was from Akashi's for $3 each. My goodness, there's still heaps to go. Please bear with me. I've got a Kinect game, Crossboard 7. I do have a Kinect and an Xbox 360 now. So, oh, there we go. There's my receipt. So I haven't seen much. I looked online to see if there's any footage of this, and there wasn't a lot. So maybe that's one I need to do. Apologies for the pause there. I thought it had stopped recording, which was a bit of a panic station. Really quick, what have we got here? Ace Combat Squadron Leader, a whole $2. Again, I can't say no to cheap games. I also love buying these games, and I tried to play one, and it was just so not bad, but I just had to chase after a poor defenseless beaver and shoot it. So, not really my style of games. I don't know how popular these were in Australia, but I don't really want to go around shooting bears and lions. But I think from a nostalgia point of view, I like picking them up. We got Sparklight for $2 on the Xbox One. Again, a kind of Stardew variation, more action adventure than farming. Children of Morta on the Xbox One, again, another $2. This is one I've actually been looking for a while. I know the servers have been shut off, but I do like collecting physical VR games. It was $19, so it was a little bit pricey. However, this game has been deleted from the PlayStation Store, so that was my main reason for wanting to buy it. This is the only way you can actually play Drive Club VR now, is actually owning a physical copy. And when I had a look, most of the stores were fully sold out. So when I did see this, I jumped right on it. This game, I kind of bought it because it looked really cool. It was $10. It is sealed. It's actually gone down to $5 now. So I kind of missed out on that one. It doesn't have very good reviews, but I kind of like the farming. It looked like another Stardew knockoff. So I wanted to try it, and the reviews are about 50, so maybe I'll just keep that one sealed. Dead Cells, I can't remember how much this was. This was probably $5 as well, but we'll see how I get to it. I'm going to do the last bits of collections that I bought, and then I'll go through the bundles I bought with the Xbox and 360. There's 2 bundles off one person and 1 bundle off another, but we have Wheelman here, Vin Diesel's Wheelman. I think Metal Jesus mentioned this as one of his underrated games. So it came with a map, which was pretty cool, and I put that up in my game room. I've been trying to get some of these out on the channel. So we've got WrestleMania 21 for the Xbox. I actually played the season mode for about an hour the other night, and it was just so much fun. So you play as this rookie, and he's just such a jerk to everyone. So I'd love to get that up on the channel along with the Rumble, except, oh no, this one you can simulate the Rumble, so that's a little bit easier. We've got Raw 2 where you can't simulate the Rumble, but I'd like to do the season mode in this as well. Not the best cover, but Raw 2 is a little bit hard to come by. But it's weird that at the time you would have, you know, SmackDown versus Raw on one console, you'd have Raw on another, and you'd have like WrestleMania 21 on another console. So that was weird at the time. We've got NRL Rugby League, that was $3. Again, if there's an Australian specific game, it's made by Two Blue. Hey, there's $3. Is it 25% off $3? That'd be good, $2.25. I like to pick that up as well, thinking about getting those on the channel. This game I found in a thrift store, and I went in and they took cash only, and I didn't have any cash, and I went back about a month later and it was actually still there. So I don't know who's written Microsoft down here in pen, but that's weird and covered over the logo. But I have been playing this. I really, really like Boom Boom Rocket. That is so good. I'm definitely going to play that on the channel one day. Pac-Man's great as well. We know Uno. Feeding Frenzy's horrible. Lux was actually pretty cool, but Boom Boom Rocket is an absolute hidden gem, and the video that comes on this disc is just so funny. It's like, welcome to the next generation of gaming, and it's like a scientist in a lab coat, like prodding a Xbox 360. You could probably find it online. I probably can't upload it. It's probably owned by Microsoft. MotoGP 06. I love races. It was $3. Project Gotham Racing 3, $5. Probably would prefer to pay around $3 for these, but I didn't have it, and I just picked up a 360, so I bought it. We've got Forza Horizon 4. Now, one of these comes with 2 discs. Oh, it's this one. So even back then on the 360, you had the content install disc. So you haven't really seen that since the days of the PS4 and the Xbox One. Very few games had 2 discs. Red Dead Redemption 2 did. Final Fantasy 7 did, and Last of Us 2 did, but not many did. I used to love playing this game with my friends. It's called Samba de Amigo, and you shake your maracas and have a good old dance around. I haven't played this for years, but it's awesome. Pose, you gotta just freeze where you are. Awesome, $8 well spent. This was one of the wrestling games I didn't have, SmackDown vs. Raw 2011. The only WWE game on the PlayStation I don't have now is WWE 2K14, which I just still cannot find unless I buy it off eBay. But I bought this off eBay for like $5. But 2K14 is like $25 on eBay. So actually, I think I put this in the last video, so Cricket 2009. So we'll flick that one out the way quickly. We got Payday 2. I think this was $3 from the thrift store as well. Oh, for some reason there's a memory card inside it. I didn't even know that was in there. Whoop, weird. Stop hitting the stand as well. I've got Fable, The Lost Chapters. Oh, and here comes another awesome wrestling game. You've waited a long time. This is so bad. I'm going to get this up on the channel. This is one of the worst games of all time. World Wrestling Championship. Now, if you look on this guy isn't even a wrestler because he's not even wearing any wrestling gear. They've just got some muscle dude, stuck him on a ramp. There's nothing about wrestling at all. It takes place in a ring, but it's basically a reskinned boxing game that they've labeled as wrestling. It is so bad. I'll play it. You will love it. That's great. I know it's been a long video, but now we're into bundles. Now, old mate, I'll just call him M to protect his privacy. These were all the games he had on the 360. So maybe I'll load up his 360 one day, play it through, and you can see how far he's gotten in all these games. I'll give you a bit of a clue. He didn't get very far in Dark Souls. I may have to stack these over here because I've run out of room. Red Dead Redemption Game of the Year edition. This came with a wicked map, where the river is red, so I've put that on my wall. Now, does this have 2 discs? Does this just have 1? Oh, yeah, this is a double discer as well. So, cool game to have. I think he played that for quite a while. We've got Splinter Cell Blacklist. Pretty cool. Need for Speed Most Wanted. Now, this game is hilarious. The live action acting is just so funny. And I think this was a launch title for the 360, but I could be wrong. Just let me know. Assassin's Creed 2. I think everyone who owned an Xbox had Assassin's Creed. You got Dead Space 2. I tried to play the first one. I probably played it for about an hour. So I'm not... Oh, this is from the... I hope he's bought this from the video game store and not just stolen it from Blockbuster Joondalup. But you would get charged $10 if you stole the booklet as well. And they'd put plastic, they'd laminate the booklets, and they'd stick them in too, so you couldn't get them out, which is always pretty funny. I actually hadn't had a look in that one. Perfect Dark Zero, $7 for my mate M here. It's in a cool steelbook. So again, one of the early 360 games, which is now 15 years old, which is crazy. You got Prey. Maybe he's bought this from this weird cashiers here, which is weird. It's got some numbers on it. Bizarre. I mean, who didn't have a copy of Skyrim? He's got a wicked Skyrim save file on here as well, so I'd love to show you. I feel a bit mean, but yeah, I'm pretty sure he's never going to watch these videos. Fallout 3, sadly it's not the Game of the Year edition, but my goodness me, Fallout 3, what a game. Spent many, many, many hours on there. Fable 2, again a rite of passage for any Xbox owner. I've only played the original Fable. I haven't played 2 or 3 because I mainly had a PlayStation, LA Noire. I had this on my 360 that I had for a little bit. I played about half of it. Diablo 3. I didn't know this came out on the 360. I thought this just came out on the One and the PS4. And his final game here is Tomb Raider. But that was the games that came with the Xbox, and it was $50 for the Xbox and all of these games. But the Xbox wouldn't work, so he actually gave me half the money back for those. But it also gave me roughly these as well. So it was $100 in total for an Xbox, a 360, and all these games. But I ended up getting $50 back because the consoles wouldn't work. Really cool. Conquer Live and Reloaded. Sadly, you can't play it online anymore, but it comes with a fully remastered... Well, not fully remastered, but it comes with Conker's Bad Fur Day on the Xbox. So if you wanted to play it, you had to dig out a Nintendo 64. If you have Rare Replay, it's on there as well. But, you know, back in 2004, if you wanted to go back to it, that's what you had to do. I have to move these right out the way. I've got Ninja Gaiden Black. It's obviously got some good reviews here as well. A game I really like, I'd like to play a bit more of. Let's move these, shuffle these guys out of the way. Midnight Club 3 Dub Edition Remix. So that looks pretty funky. Sometimes I like opening them up. Sometimes they have receipts in. I mean, who didn't have Halo? Everyone has Halo 2. There's millions of copies of that around. Brothers in Arms, Road to Hill 30. What a weird game this is. I hadn't heard of that game before. Road to Germany 2006, when they tried to milk you out of every dollar by releasing FIFA 06 and then FIFA World Cup 06. So really trying to milk you out of all your money. Lord of the Rings, Return of the King. This is a great game. I got this on the PS2. This is pretty awesome. Again, a game everyone has, Top Spin Tennis. I've got about 5 copies of this game. Not for resale, so I think it came bundled with the console. That's why there's so many of them. Splinter Cell Chaos Theory, $48, $84 from Kmart. Back in the day. Xbox had a lot of shooters on it. Original Halo. I think I've got 5 copies of this as well. I just have millions upon millions. Again, probably came packaged with the console. And the last game I got, there's good news and bad news. The good news is The Hobbit is awesome and the game looks great. The bad news is the disc isn't in here. I think it's stuck in the Xbox and I can't get the disc drive open. And yes, I do know about the little hack with the safety pin you can put in the hole to try and open the disc tray, but it still won't work. Now my other bundle that I got with my working Xbox, we're into the final group of games. We've got Mercenaries Playground of Destruction. The disc isn't there. Oh, I was playing this, that's why. Sometimes I don't have the discs, which is weird. Need for Speed Underground 2, which is really cool. We've got the best Pro Evo game, Pro Evolution 4. I love old mate Ref, I've forgotten his name. But what an absolute game. Gee, look how thick the manual is. It felt really heavy. I thought maybe there was another memory card or something in there. Grabbed by the Ghoulies, which didn't sell well, but is a pretty cool game. I tried to give this a go, but I didn't really understand what was going on. Brute Force, I think this was an early game for the Xbox. We've got a really underrated racer in Midtown Madness 3, which is actually a ridiculously good game, despite it looking like it should be horrible. So that's a good one. Now this is an absolute underrated gem I had never ever heard of, and it's called Disney's Extreme Skate Adventure. And it's essentially Tony Hawk skating reskinned with Disney characters. So like you're Simba skating around Pride Rock, or you're Buzz Lightyear and you're just skating round. It's ridiculous. Like, I want to play it, but look it up online because it's really cool. And then it has all the Disney music that goes along with it as well. So I was just playing through. It's the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4 engine. I never knew they'd reskin Tony Hawk's into a Disney skating game. So I think it's a little bit rare, but is a really cool game to get. You got Fable: The Lost Chapters, which is the original Fable expanded. So what they just add on with a little bit of DLC. For some reason, there's 2 books. That's really weird. Oh, maybe because you get an original book and the Lost Chapters book. Oh, I didn't realize that. 4 games to go. Thank you for being so patient. We got Crash Bandicoot and the quality started to dip a little bit. Okay, we've got Shrek Super Slam, $70 from Harvey Norman. I might wrap it up because this video is just about full. It might make me do a second video. Star Wars Jedi Knight Jedi Academy. So, gee, these people had good taste and some good games. And just to wrap it up today, thank you for being so patient for one of my biggest game pickup videos, is Lord of the Rings Return of the King. Here it is. Remember as well, if you want to win that copy of Big Bash Boom, go to my page and like this video at Crabman Gaming. I also have a Twitter at Crabman Gaming, and I would appreciate it if you've sat through this much to give the video a like, a comment, and a subscription, and have a most wonderful day.